metropolitan area.
You suck. I probably gotta do better.
We live?
We are on Facebook, but
Okay.
nobody can see you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna ask you a question.
What?
You ever seen Ratchet Ass Alexa? That skit?
No.
No.
But we
Should do
can
something
do.
like that.
I mean, we should do. I mean, come on with it, kid.
I was trying to say best practices. Let me just ask.
It's a reality show, Ruthie.
Yeah, but still, man.
It's a
You know,
reality
once it's
show.
out there, next thing you know, they're gonna be block
they
party in front of your house.
Right. Oh, that's Look, we shouldn't have gave Todd a key.
Todd Stroger. Welcome, happy Friday.
Oh, happy Friday.
What is it? Is it Perry Friday?
Perry who?
Perry Friday.
Oh, paraphernalia.
Come on, Todd. Come on now.
Yeah,
Get a little slang going.
I don't
Ooh, it's chilly in here. Why is it
Really,
so
Maze?
cold?
This no, Todd. This
There
is
you
not.
go.
This ain't
It
chilly.
hasn't
is it?
gotten there yet.
It feels good.
Right, it's just starting.
I think it's Jack.
Mason, he gonna take your key.
Well, you know, Maze, he already told me. They ain't listening to hear you, Otis. And he called me Otis too.
We on Facebook.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, they know Maze tries to
Todd
abuse
has
me.
No shame about anything. Todd is like, I am an open book. Completely.
Well, not completely.
Am I the only one with privacy?
Yeah,
Privacy.
Yeah, I know the only time I'm on social media is from 6 to 9 a.m.
They say,
I noticed that actually.
I listen. Come on now.
Ruthie got too much business.
No, I just you know.
Be like, I'm not in these streets. Let me stay up out this
It's
mess.
just social media. It's something about the targeted advertising.
See, wait till you're 57, then you'll be me.
Todd, I hope I don't turn into you when I'm
Ruthie,
57.
hand me that.
I just magically turn into Todd Stroger.
Well, I need a rebirth at that time because I'd be. Let's see.
Look, I'll take all the perks.
At that time, I'd be.
Duh.
Give me the
77.
perks. Give me the perks, Todd.
The perks?
Give me the
The
perks.
perks of being 57, let's see. Trying to think. Depending on children, you may not have to work anymore.
Is that why people have kids so they don't have somebody to take care of them when they get older?
Shit.
That's part of it.
You hope. You
But-
wish.
But you better have them at the right time. Get down on me.
Dang, we only got 2 people?
Baby, baby. It was like, Todd's not going to be here till 6. I want to hear Otis. Bam, bam.
How you gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance? Oh, I'm in the wrong. Look, I'm talking about people yesterday.
Okay.
And I'm in the wrong joint my gosh darn self.
Todd, you be standing on the wall, or do you get your back up off the wall?
Get your back up.
Oh,
one?
I used to be on the wall, but then I realized that I needed some real exercise. So, and as May said, I grew into a I don't care about you anymore phase. So,
Is that what happened?
yeah.
I wish I knew the old Todd.
Can I tell you what? I feel like as an old man,
You classify yourself as an old man now?
I'm starting to feel like it. Not feel like it. I don't see it, but I feel like I gotta start acting my age.
His gout told him that. How many young people run around with gout?
Don't you know what that don't
You know why young people don't have gout?
Why don't they have gout?
Because they can't afford gout. You gotta have some money to get gout.
Man, let me tell you.
Or you gotta be somebody's grandma.
Right. You've been eating salt pork all your life.
Not salt pork.
You know, used to go to the store, give me a pound of salt pork.
Do you rinse it and did you when you used to engage, did you drain it or did you just put the whole piece in the
Whole
green.
piece. Now I don't know what.
You ain't wrench it off.
Oh, I wrenched it off.
You wrenched
it off. Wrench around here, baby, and give me that. How you gonna do it if you?
I
really
swear my
do?
grandmother made cornbread and greens every day.
It was the
Towards the
bottle
end of
was
her life, at least.
it was to boil the pot. If it wasn't a pot boiling,
Yeah.
then that wasn't.
And then buttermilk and put a cornbread in it.
Oh, now
I was like, boy,
that is
I saw
clearly an old school thing because I remember that's the same people who used to bring the squirrels back from Mississippi.
Yeah, right.
I remember one time as a kid, and I don't know how old, I had to be minuscule, like a super young kid. But my my mother, I had like a play grandmother, right? That like they adopted me at my mom's church, and I mean it was like I was with them every day after school. They got the whole, how that works.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget, she took me down south one time, and I had to sleep on a feather bed. And I, like, as a kid, like to this day, I mean I don't think I was older than. I couldn't have been 5 years old.
Yeah.
And I can still remember having to sleep on and being like, this Mississippi stuff is not for me.
And they're called trundle beds.
I don't know what it's called. Oh. I thought a trundle bed was just a bed with a bed underneath it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, I don't know that one.
I don't know. I just. Oh, we live.
We've been live.
I mean, like super live.
We all the way down. No, we all the way live. That's what I meant.
He was close. You like the funk era, Todd?
Every sane human being likes the funk era.
Okay.
That's how I know I'm a baby boomer.
Ah, okay.
Bum, bum, bum.
Don't let no one put you down. Let me see you smile. Sunshine, you're beautiful inside. Hey, rise up, rise up. Don't. Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. You are listening to us live on 1570 AM. I'm your host, but I gotta say what's up to my co-host, Todd Stroger. Todd, how you feeling this morning?
Hey, Maze, I've got some very important news.
Uh-oh.
Today is the 27th year anniversary of Poetic Justice.
Ooh. Great movie.
That was a great movie.
You guys know nothing about sarcasm, do you?
Oh, well, you're not.
I saw it. I saw it in L.A.
epic.
with Gene Moore and Coy Pugh. And I'll never see it again.
You didn't like it?
It was slow and boring.
Oh my
God!
That was a love story.
First of
It
all,
was not
remember
much
all
love
the
in that
controversy?
story.
Remember, I'm going to tell you what I remember.
Go ahead.
I remember when Janet was like, Tupac, to give me a kiss, you're going to need the AIDS test. Remember he snapped off? Tupac was like, you can take your nappy. Anyway, Todd, I cannot believe you said you did not like Poetic Justice.
I
remember.
I'm not a big fan of characters who are kind of blah, and Janet's character was so blah.
He's like, I did. I certainly did. I mean, she was the star of the movie. But let me just tell you.
You mean, was she the star of the movie, or was she the star of the movie?
Hey, bro. Clearly, she was a star. You just didn't
she was a star, but
she was Janet Jackson. Now, she was a horrible actress. Oh.
There's my point.
But you remember, I ain't going to even trip. Remember when they got drunk? Joe Torre, remember? First of all, Regina King. Always. And then what's old girl with the breath?
With the breath?
Remember the owner of the beauty shop? She always is the instigator. She was Ricky's mama in Boys in the Hood.
I guess I got to see that again.
Oh my God. You got to go back and watch it.
27 years.
You got to watch. I mean, now you got to watch it and see how many of those people went on to become stars too, right?
Yeah,
like,
I just looked at the picture. I was like, oh, I know that guy.
Right. And I'm just telling you, like, the guy who killed Malcolm X was in there. I'm just telling you, you go back and remember that was what's his name? The dude from Tribe Called Quest, which I hate. Y'all know I hate Tribe Called Quest.
No,
but
I know that.
yes, I hate Tribe Called Quest. But Q-Tip, remember he was a gang member? He was Janet's boyfriend in the beginning, and then he got whacked in the car. Justice. Remember? Yeah, come on, man. And then let me just tell you something. Remember Billy Zane was in that movie at the drive-in?
I know Billy Zane was a big name back then, but I still couldn't point him out in the crowd.
Oh, I could still point him out in the crowd because he always plays evil. But then I'm gonna tell you what really stood out in that movie to me, because Billy Zane in the movie, there was this you ever heard of the company Bang & Olufsen?
Yeah, the music.
The music company.
Yeah.
Well, the very first time I ever saw the Bang & Olufsen vertical CD player, where the glass, you didn't have to touch it, the glass door slid open, and the CD player slid up and down, and it would go zzz. It was in that, and I'm not even tell you what that inspired later on. But having seen that was when I knew about upscale music. Let me tell you, boy, Todd, I cannot believe you. I can't believe you dumped on.
I'm a baby boomer. That's my job.
Todd did hijack the whole show with just that hate. Let me do this. Because I ain't even... see how you did? Let me do this. We didn't even get to say good morning to the rest of the team. What? Because you said such appalling... Like...
Oh, wow.
No, come on.
Off the strength of Tupac, though. Come on, Todd.
Oh, my God.
Tupac. I can't even spell that.
Now, I'm a Biggie man, but you got to put Tupac in the pantheon of black heroes in the world.
Heroes? No, he did say some good things, but between the good and the bad, I'm not really sure how you put a place.
Hey, man,
like him.
Tupac was the person who redefined the word ninja. Remember, it didn't no longer. He took it back from the white people first,
man,
and hold on, no, and it meant never ignorant, getting goals.
Right there, between 7 years, nobody can take that word back.
He took it back and changed it to never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. What's wrong with you, Todd?
Come on, Todd.
Okay.
Now,
see how that worked out for everybody, huh?
Oh, you want to be?
Yes, we missed Tupac.
We had a discussion about people shooting people yesterday.
He was like that.
So we see that Tupac.
He gave us a balance. Now we have no balance.
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 Oh, Lord.
Grasshopper.
Rest in peace, Tupac.
Oh, Lord.
I'll go with that.
Did I tell you I wore to the Tupac movie premiere? On his birthday, I wore a Biggie Who Shot Your shirt to the movie premiere.
Did you get jumped?
No, but I almost got...
Is that a good thing or bad? It sounds like that might be trouble.
Can I tell you something? I almost got... a year later, I don't even think anybody caught it, really.
Oh.
But a year later, I was in Walgreens, right off of Western.
Uh-huh.
And I had the shirt on, and it was Tupac's birthday, because I got this thing about being a contrarian. And let me tell you, I rethought it being out west. Because the brother said, hey, turn around, let me see the front of that shirt.
They noticed it.
Because he was behind me, and it said, who shot you?
Uh-huh.
You know, Biggie Smalls, you know, the show, it was the whole song, who shot you? Anyway. And the brother said, turn around, cuz dog, on Pac's birthday, Joe? You know how, and you know the brother be like, on Pac's birthday, Joe? Like, straight up, Joe?
He's serious.
Yeah, he was serious. I was like, could you give me my prescription so I can get up out of here?
What'd you say, Max? Oh, I ain't know.
Nah. You know when you're a brother and you're in that situation, you got to play hard. So I was like, yeah, on his birthday, could you hurry up, lady? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, you don't see the representation of the juxtaposition of...
Now you start to sound like Tupac.
Right.
Because sometimes like, what'd he say?
The juxtaposition of the repositioning of the assassination of Tupac. And then he said, assassinated? Man, that brother got shot. Speaking of Christopher, look, Sonya, like, we're going to get this show on the play. We're going to get this thing up. Christopher Columbus came down. But before we even get to Christopher Columbus, the night that Christopher Columbus came down, I got to say what's up to the rest of the team. So what's up to Miss Ruthie Moore, who is probably just appalled or tired as I am. How you feeling this morning, Ruthie Moore?
You know what? I am feeling good, representing Delta Sigma Theta with my Perry on. So shout out to the Chicago Alumni Chapter and the Chicago Metropolitan
My roommate's
Alumni
name was
Chapter.
Perry.
See, here you go.
Todd! I'm trying to shout out my sorors.
She trying to shout out her sorors. Hey, you know what? And let me tell y'all something. Them Deltas, you
I
got.
forgot what I was doing after making that.
Look, could you get in the show? Look, so I noticed the Deltas was all. Carrie yesterday was walking around with a little tough attitude too. All the Deltas got a little tough.
She was asking you about your thoughts on Tupac.
Carrie is Pac all day. I'm
Okay.
Biggie. Anyway, she was walking around and all the Deltas was walking around, and I was wondering what happened. Apparently, Keisha Lance Bottoms. It's like Keisha Lance Bottoms is the Mary Lori Lightfoot of the South. What is going on? What happened?
Not the Lori Lightfoot of the South.
See, don't nobody want that now. Nobody wants that title now. Hey, okay, we're gonna talk about that when we come a little bit later too. Let me say what's up to Miss Sonia Escobar. Sonia, how you feeling? All right, Sonia's like. Right. Look, before Todd jumps in. I'm good. But look, he be like, butter biscuits, right? Like he just had outbursts. Todd, like Tourette's Todd. We're gonna start calling those Todd's Tourette's moments, right? All right, y'all. It looks like we are all loaded. We locked and loaded. Let's get this thing up to 60,000 feet. Let's get it up and away. And as I look out the window, why do I see Italian mobs forming? They had them. They sent them off the Grand. First of all, boy, I'm gonna tell you what. I am under the impression that we have now figured out the strategy of how to make Lori Lightfoot move. I think she's punkable. And I'm gonna say that. I mean that in the most respectable way. Like, but there's not a better way for me to describe it at this point. And Salim said yesterday I was sharing the police narrative, and I got to push back on that. Y'all know I read all the comments, right? So I had to push back on that a little bit later. I don't know if it's the police narrative or I don't know whose narrative it is right now, but I'm not sure it's the black narrative that is being pushed. And look, we're going to talk about it when we come back. This musical mix is brought to you by Kimbark Beverage Shop. Please don't forget to stop by Kimbark Beverage Shop and make sure you look for a African American. Did I say African American? Look for a black brand when you go in. Look for those red, black, and green flags and know that is a product manufactured by a black man. That black tequila, good God, he made it for black people for real. Because I was like, after one bottle of that, I was like, when is the next weekend gonna be here? Look, y'all, we'll be back after this mix by Sonia Escobar. Hey, y'all, don't forget, Willie Wilson is the man. We'll be back. All right.
Friday.
All right, let's see how we doing. Y'all all right over there? Home? What we looking like? Y'all got a broadcast going? Y'all getting chopped up? What's going on? How we looking? What they telling me, Ruthie?
Well, so far everybody's saying good morning. Somebody said Uncle Nearest. Derek, thank you for that. That's the one you was talking about.
Uncle Nearest. No, there's John
Basile Tequila.
John Basile Tequila is black owned and it is good.
Shout out to the DePaul Blue Demon. That is the owner and founder of that.
Really? I was in the store. Carrie and I were in the store and we were getting some. And it was a black dude that was like, we was going in the store, and he was like, "Hey man, when y'all go in the store, get this tequila, John." And we were going to Benny's because we had gone to Kimbark, and then we were looking for bitters. We were looking for some bitters to make a certain drink, and so we went to. We had bought everything we could from Kimbark. And then we went to the other store. And when we went to the other store, it was like all the black people was coming out. And I was like, man, go to Kim Park, right? I was like, I need to go to Kim Park. They like, you here? I was like, but I got my stuff in the car. But it was interesting because it's like you want to support that black tequila at the white store so that white folks know that it can sell. Right? Because he's gonna blow up.
He's young. He's a millennial.
I mean, I think
like it's
you know what? So today we're gonna be philosophical and literal. So I was just thinking, like, when I in the punkable thing, I was thinking maybe we learned it wrong. Like, I'm almost starting to wonder if nonviolence was wrong. Right? Like, like I'm thinking about these Columbus statues coming down. I will maintain that is not a black thing. That is not a black priority. I'm going to still maintain that. But, Joe, when you use threats of force, make people think about stuff different, and when you know it could actually happen, I don't think that I could have probably ever imagined the imagery that I have of Chicago police right now. Like that, the imagery I had, like,
it was unfathomable.
I think she took the fear out of people with, like, I understand the Grand Park joint. She went to Little Italy and took they shit down in the middle of the night. I turned up. I was like, I thought they already took Grand down. They were in Little Italy. Now let me tell you what she just lost. The remaining of the Italians that are in the city of Chicago.
I mean, there's still Little Italy still has Italians.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm not defending it, but I know Madigan is this morning like, made it through another night.
The revolution.
Right, but the revolution.
Embrace it, y'all. Embrace it.
Here's what I'm saying. The revolution, and we missing the motherfucker. It's
Not yet. It steps, Maze. It steps to this, man.
Look,
It steps to this, Maze. We're gonna be in front of Pulaski real soon.
Okay. All right. Well, as soon as y'all get to Pulaski, I'm coming. I ain't going downtown. But if y'all go to Pulaski, I'm gonna be right out in front. Like, when we start hitting the real issues.
Watch and see.
When we start going, now, you want me to be outside? Like, when we stop going after symbols and start going to the real spaces, then that's when I'm not getting hit in the head I'm not getting hit in the head over Christopher Columbus statue. I'd take a few lumps if I knew we was pulling down Pulaski. I'm telling you, I really would. And I feel like there's a lot of people who listen to us that if you took this away from like, I do believe that there are some lessons being learned here. I know I'm like, what?
Can't stop the will of the people.
Look at Todd. I wish I had a zoom right there.
Rich people.
I wish I could have zoomed in on Todd like, y'all niggas crazy. He like, it's nice and warm in here. I got 3 more years.
Get off my
lawn! Child. Wow.
I'm ready.
Say what? Why don't you ride?
You are listening to What's in It for the Black People Radio live on WBGX 1570 AM. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Plus, let me tell y'all what, you can get us on the TuneIn app if you want to. If you're in the car and it gets a little fuzzy, go download the TuneIn app. Mm-hmm. It shows up on my screen, Todd. I push the button and TuneIn come on, and I can hear us nice and crispy clear.
Man, after being in your car, I'm sure it's like what was that movie, War Games?
No, what do you mean?
You can pull anything up on that screen. All
right,
DEFCON 4.
You know what? I am gonna tell you, it is pretty cool though. Like, the thing about it is, like, you can get it, all the amazing things that you can get your phone to do, man. I mean, your car. That car does all type of stuff, man. It's like, I be walking by some days and they open up the door and I was like, I didn't even know it did that. Right? It'd be like, I be...
That's why I like Black Mirror so much.
It's
Technology is terrible.
You'd be like, wait a minute. What's going on here?
And you didn't notice? What if you didn't notice? You just left and somebody was right behind you like, this is a nice car to get into and see what he got?
I'd be like, and then when they sit down, it's like I got the seat thing, so I push the button and a knife comes up from the seat. It's like a spy. It's a spy car too, man.
I haven't even seen that in James Bond.
You know what? I got something for a carjacker when they come, boy. They gonna tap on the wrong window. They gonna be like, what is that red dot?
I think your car might be too unique for people that want to jump.
Yeah, honestly, I would probably
I'll get right down the street and the police be like, no, you shouldn't be in there.
That's what they say to me.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
They told you in Beverly, right?
Oh my God, that's what they told my son. Mm-hmm. There go the. Can I tell you what I have not seen in Beverly?
What?
A Black Lives Matter sign. I'm telling the truth. Even the black people ain't got no black lives matter. They're like, we don't want none of that around here. Keep that stuff over on the other side of town. That's why we got these cul-de-sacs.
Well, I think it's the other side of Prospect.
Let me tell you.
I think that's where the black people can live in the 19th ward.
No, you can live on. No,
I mean in big numbers.
Oh, you can live right. No, well, you're right. You're right. I ain't going to even trip. No, and I'm going to tell you. Mm-hmm. You know how when people say, like, North Beverly and East Beverly and all that stuff? Uh-huh. Talk to a white person from Beverly. They be like, no, that's not us. You be like, yeah, I live in West Beverly. They be like, and? Like, I be like, sometimes I think, they had to cook them when they named that street after our good friend's father. They was like, again, I promise you though, the thing I love about our good friend's father is he got the biggest house in the whole neighborhood. Right? And it's like, I'd be like, every time I go over there, I'd be like, I know these white people mad in the mud. How this Negro got a house with a swimming pool inside? Woo. All right, y'all. Let's go to, so the Christopher Columbus statue came down yesterday. I understood the one in Grant Park. The one in Little Italy, that was like just sticking a finger in somebody's eye.
Well, you knew if they're going to throw things there, eventually they're going to come and try to pull the one down in Little Italy. I don't know. I didn't think that. You didn't think so?
I'm going to be honest with you. It never crossed my mind to go in, right. I didn't even
know it was there.
I didn't even know it was there, and I'm not tripping. I just think it's one more night Madigan got a pass. Right? It's like we and I just want all the white people to know that was your kids that did that. Because black people was too busy on the south side ducking.
I'm telling you, Hans gives me this information, that these attacks and things are very well planned, and they're all done just on the internet.
Why are you telling the strategy?
Hey man, look.
What do I care?
Hey Joe, you better be careful.
So let me tell you why you should care. Why? Because if you're not on there, how you gonna know what's going on? What's your ear to the street? Is it your son? Is he gonna tell you when the protest comes in front of your house?
Oh, you about to get Heinz whacked.
No, see.
Look, Ruthie got her black jacket on too.
No, we're not just talking like just regular stuff that you and Maze.
Look, he tried to clean it up now.
No, we're talking about the dark web. These people are well organized. This isn't just like the Black Lives Matter. As you well know, they're not the ones who are throwing bottles and stuff. These are the anarchists who want to see some real stuff happening.
Now you got to be careful, because then you're going to be repeating the police narrative. I don't know if I'm on the anarchist.
The police can't always be wrong.
Todd, I'm not on the anarchist plan. I'm just telling. So this, look, like I'm on the the black people get free playing, or at least get our piece playing, I am not on the anarchist plan. And if the anarchists are leading the charge, that's why I said
the anarchists are smart. They don't lead the charge.
They just blow up they blow it
up. That's right. They come in with the group like, yeah.
Umbrellas
like,
ready.
Something. Yeah, that's right. Like, everybody.
Then they be like, bottles, ice bottles, ready. Yeah. Then they be like, you know, it reminds me like the Little Rascals. You know how like the Little Rascals used to prepare for war?
Yeah, they were always good at that.
They ready. Like they ready, Joe. Yeah. It's like they ready, yo.
If you really want to know how extreme this can get, look at other countries. Look at what's going on and what was going on in Hong Kong pre-COVID. You can see some of the same strategies and tactics that they have to use to fight against the Chinese regime because it's so powerful. So if you look at some of those tactics and strategies, you can see what's going on right here in Chicago.
Hans asked me, and I may have mentioned this before, Dad, do you think somebody who hasn't gone to school can start a revolution? And I was like, no! The revolutionaries are people who've gone to some really good university, and then they come back and say, hey, we ought to break some stuff up. And people say, yeah, you're charismatic and smart, and they follow.
And you know what? I think that yes and no. I think that almost is the same way of telling a kid, go to college, get a degree, and I think that the world is morphing, right? And I do think like that revolutionary could have got that education on online watching Harvard for free.
You mean now?
Right? Yeah, like think about it. Education, like you can take Stanford classes, you can take all of this stuff. Like you can do TED Talks, you can do all of this for free. So I don't necessarily know that it has to be now a rich kid. I think it's a person that can build communities digitally, right? That then can coordinate. Remember when the kids used to come meet up at the mall? Mm-hmm. And it was like, you'd be like, how did 1,000 or 2,000 kids know to show up at this mall? Now, take 2,000 of those kids showing up at the mall and empower them with the mentality that like, man, and they're not scared to do it. I want to talk about this. I missed a whole bunch of headlines, but I'm going to skip. The mayor's under siege at her home, right? Did you see that? And I don't know if it was under siege. They called it a block party, but I think, again, it goes back to my point of I think she may be punkable, right? 75 cops, she got police itinerary. I noticed she don't be coming on the south side where it's hot, and now they're taking the protest to her house. I thought she negotiated with the Grant Park statue. I don't recall anybody telling me she negotiated for the Little Italy. But I want to talk to some. This is a Chicago show.
I want to know where the statue's going. I'm just.
I was thinking about the same thing.
My thought was, why should you take him cross street to the Field Museum?
Well, I don't know where, but like I was thinking, like, dang, when I saw him rolling out, like the one out of Little Italy, they kept it standing up.
Uh-huh.
The one leaving out of Grand Park, they had that bad boy laying down.
Well, that's because it already been beating the hell out of it. It's probably dead already.
We're going to see those on Antiques Roadshow in about 50 years or so.
You know what? And somebody watching going to be like, and that is worth $20 million. Look, yeah. Or you're going to find it in some oligarch's backyard.
Right.
Because as the structures come down and they start building walls around their castles, and we all out here fending for ourselves as the revolution is going on, he's gonna be like, I'll take that statue, right? Like, hey, y'all, I think it's gonna be a lot going on. Look, let's do this. Let's when we come back, I want to pontificate because Ruthie, you really got me thinking. I'm not gonna even lie, because your mentality in this whole situation, you like all nice until it's like, I'm telling you, Todd, when it go down, I can see Ruthie. She gonna have eye paint. She gonna be wearing camouflage. Remember?
Is she gonna be like Eddie Murphy's uncle?
No, she gonna be like Linda Hamilton.
He's gonna shoot his wife because she white.
She gonna be like Linda Hamilton.
Oh,
right?
okay.
In the Terminator. Like, Ruthie gonna be like, hand me one of them mugs.
No.
Hand me one of them pistols.
So
you know, I'm private.
You think she got water and K rations and stuff?
She gonna be training the young military.
So, I mean, I do have some rations because we are experiencing a spike. And so I would recommend y'all go out and get some staples.
I think you gotta pay it.
But, you know, I'm a little bit more private, Maze. I'm a little bit more private. I just ask for discernment, and whatever direction I move in, but I don't really consider myself to be like a public figure.
That's the whole point of being a guerrilla warrior.
Right.
She gonna kill you in your sleep, Todd.
Hamilton was
She gonna be like
in the mountains until the revolution happened. Then she's like, okay, now it's my time.
Ruthie's gonna be instructing the young people, right, on how this is gonna be real interesting.
The spook who sat by the door.
Let's do this. When we come back, this is what I want to ask. How have you tangibly benefited from voting? Like, tangibly. Like, and I think there's going to be a range of comments just from this room. But I want to talk to everybody. So give us a call, 872-259-7474. How have you personally tangibly benefited from voting? Okay? And it goes on levels. Presidential, like somebody's gonna say, "Hey man, we got roads, we got blah blah." Okay, I'm gonna take all that out. Let's take all the for granteds out, and I'm not take infrastructure.
Actually, no, that you
that's
can't
not
actually
for granted.
take it for
I
granted,
see,
right.
of course. So Todd's gonna Todd.
You know, in Louisiana,
But we gonna play. Let's do this.
Didn't have paved roads until they elected a guy that said, "I'm gonna pave your roads."
Okay, I got you. So here's what I'm saying. When we come back, so that's their tangible benefit for voting. All right? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Social media question of the day. How have you tangibly benefited from voting? And now this mix from Sonia Escobar, brought to you by Dr. Willie Wilson. This is going to be a good one.
That word tangibly, man.
Right. That's the whole reason I put it in there.
Put the word tangible in
right.
there.
You're going to say, man.
All right, look, I had to look it up. It's an adjective capable of being touched, material, or substantive. Ooh, that's deep. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I will mind social for the answers.
Oh, my goodness. This is so fun. I enjoy this conversation.
Bum, bum. Boom.
Right.
Did y'all see Jerry Taft passed away?
Jerry Taft passed away
this morning. My sister
I
told
see
me
that.
He got crotchety towards the end.
You know, but weathermen always seem to be pretty nice guys. I mean,
he seemed crotchety at the end to me.
Did
he did not seem, and I really like his replacement.
I think the weather got too digital for him. You remember back when they used to have to like. But I want to push these.
Cheryl be like. Her dog be in the joint every day. And I think Cheryl Burton's replacement is on TV now too.
On that station or another station?
Yeah, I think Samantha, that girl.
I don't like a lot of news.
You think that's the move?
I can't place
Yeah, I think you've seen the transition for everybody. First of all, they got these monster contracts, right? Like TV is now like they don't have. So they got these monster contracts, these big studios, all of this stuff. I think you saw it happen with Jim Rose, right? With the girl, with that girl that I still think is some kind of way black. Because I don't know, what's the girl who does the sports on ABC?
I don't watch TV.
Okay. So there's the white girl, the little super skinny girl that does sports.
If you think she's super skinny
So
on TV, she's got to be super skinny.
Samantha Chapman is who's going to take Cheryl. It seems to me who there's grooming to take Cheryl Burton's space.
Was she one of those out in the street reporters?
Yeah, she is, and she does a lot of specials. Like every day she's doing a Channel 7 something, and so it's like she's on the same arc. What you see is they introduce your replacement with you, right? And you're on the same space, so people get used to seeing you on the same show, right?
Oh,
and then they start to.
And one day they say, Cheryl broke her leg.
No.
And
Then they
she'll
say,
show up.
then they start to, then, so you saw with Jerry Tapton, Cheryl whatchamajigam.
See, I missed that too.
So,
I
Jim Rose, it happened with the girls. So then you start to see them sit in the anchor spot, and then the other person goes to the 5 o'clock and one goes to 6 o'clock. Then one starts to fall back. Then you start to see the commercials and you see them together, right? And then it flips to this person. So you know they got a black woman anchor. Like, I'm gonna tell you who wins. The station who will win on TV will have a strong black male. I know this sounds self-serving, but a strong black male presence.
When have black males been anybody's flavor of the month?
I think that's how you get a black audience, though, and I think that's where you get the Bob Pettys. That's where you got the.
I mean, we watched Channel 7 because Bob Petty was on it.
Exactly, and then even if you didn't like Bob Petty, and then they were smart enough to always stick somebody in that spot and give you a person that can always put you on the big channel. That's how my former co-host became such an icon. I mean, it wasn't like he was dynamic, like he blazed a trail. He was our guy there. And so you know that black folks knew that they had a person they could go to get a fair shake, or to try to get a fair shake. You ready? So
Russ Ewing.
Right, but again, everybody, and think about, every station used to have
if
a strong.
The police were looking for you. You called Russ Ewing and said, "I'll go in with Russ."
Right, Russ Ewing on Channel 2.
That's 2.
Warner Sanders on Channel 5.
Yeah.
Art Norman then went into that spot. You had Bob Petty. Who else? Because Russ Ewing eventually came to Channel 7. Bob Petty, Russ Ewing. There was another one in between there. Then you had my former co-host. Then that's when they started making the move towards the gay black man, right? And they stopped putting in. Well, actually, and then they put Will Jones in, like, to kind of be the new.
I don't know Will Jones.
Charles. But the problem is he not connected. So, and then the more this, like, he's more connected to white Chicago than black Chicago. Like, most of the anchors, most of the people that are in news, even whatever ethnicity, they tend to identify white, but and so they can be palatable to the white people.
Okay.
Like, I'll never forget, dude was like, I used to pass. Like, we used to have debates over color.
Man, I didn't think Charles was that, so.
Yeah. I know, man. Man.
Passing is a hard thing.
When we had that Puerto Rico fight, that's when he lost all the black Chicago. You are listening to What's in it for the Black People Radio, WBGX 1570 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd, Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore, as well as Sonia Escobar. Hey, y'all, we are asking the social media question of the day. I want to know, Ruthie, I always think about you when I think of these youthful questions, because I was thinking, like, they always tell us just vote. And for the black community, recently, I'm not going to say never, but recently, outcomes of voting have not made our conditions better. And then I turn on the TV and I see people throwing water bottles, having sharpened protest sticks, and police under assault. But then I see them get their outcome. I think about when I watched Rodney King get his head beat in. And I'll never forget us all being out marching down the street. We was tearing up stuff, turning over cars. And then they came in and they talked to us and they was like, you guys, the way to do this is to get a person on the student senate and affect policy. And that was the first time at the University of Illinois that we elected a black student senator. And then we got a black person on the student trustee. We got that to be a black person. And that probably, and we saw the tangible benefits because we got more dates at the union. We were able to check some of the university police policies, etc. Then I thought about the tangible outcomes of voting, but it was a result of us like really getting buck wild. Like we literally put the president's house under siege. Like all the black students in the middle of the winter, and it was something going down for black people to come out in the cold. We went and got tents. I remember, now that I think about it, and I think about watching them throwing the water bottles. I remember President Eikenberry coming out on his front lawn and trying to tell us to calm down, and the snowballs, like ice snow, them ones, the wet icy snow. It was like, and I was like, dang, they ain't playing.
He needed an umbrella.
Right, and and I remember he increased the number of President's Award scholars. We got our friends we had some friends that we were protesting in solidarity with at the University of Illinois, Chicago. But then I got to thinking about, I was in my my garage, and I saw this sign from 2 elections ago, and I saw it, and it said, "Just vote blue." Right? Just vote blue. And it was like I remember getting that, and I remember it was like, yeah, right. And we was all fired up. Then I looked around, because I was cleaning my garage, and I was like, man, blew the dust off the sign, and was like, man, we've been voting blue for a long, long, long time. And so I wanted to ask the social media question of the day. And I think we got a great group of people here, because Todd, I think you tangibly benefited from a vote. Even being a Cook County Board President, I think I've been pushing the voting for a long time. I can't necessarily say that I'm 100% clear on what my tangible outcomes are.
Yeah, I think you've stated some before. Now, you may not be happy with some of the things that you thought that you had to do, but there were some tangibles.
Okay, so we're going to talk about them. And then I want you all to give me a call at 872-259-7474. I want to start in reverse, though. Mm-hmm. And I want to start with Ruthie, who's the youngest, and has a way different mentality than both of us as it relates to this revolution that's happening.
I don't know, Ruthie and I are like this, man.
We tight.
So, Ruthie, talk to me about tangible outcomes for voting.
This is such a difficult question again, Maze, because of the word tangible.
Bingo, that's the whole point.
Which means something that I can, touch. Now, the first presidential election I was eligible to vote in was for Barack Obama.
Oh, wow.
And it made me feel so good. We was rallying, we was feeling good. And then it was over. And we was like, damn, what just happened? Where are our tangibles? And so I think that what that did was that put millennials in the mindset of, okay, we went to school, we voted, now we got all this student loan debt, and we still continue to see that no matter who we vote for, we are continuously sold out into a system that's not designed for us to be able to achieve. And when I look back at American history, it's like, why is this still the same thing? How is it that y'all got miseducated about Columbus, and I still got miseducated about Columbus decades later? And so I asked myself, why do black people continuously vote Democrat? What is that about? And does the Democratic Party take the black vote for granted? Because where are the tangible outcomes? So if I stop voting, people mad about that. But when I do vote and I don't get what I want, now I'm mad. So what am I supposed to do?
Now hold on, let me just add this to it. Because Ruthie expresses the sentiment that I think 75% of black people probably feel. Mm-hmm. And then there's Trump. And then there's Bruce Rauner. And then there's George W. Bush. And then there's George H.W. Bush. And then there's Ronald Reagan. And then there's...
That's the first guy I voted.
There's Nixon, right? And there's Gerald Ford. And there's all of these people that get thrown in front of us. And I'm just going to say, it's kind of how I got to, I'm not going to argue with you over which white boy is racist. And when you get mad at me about saying whatever about Trump, it's like Joe Biden to me is the same white boy. If they wasn't trying to be the president of the United States, they would be somewhere at the same country club. They might not be at the same table, but they'll still be backslapping and they'll still be like, hey man, how'd you shoot today? They'd go to the same golf outings. They'd be courting the same money people. And then I think about that just vote blue sign. Now, I would tell you I lean towards Ruthie. And I have played the game and had some tangible benefits, but even those tangible benefits, as we unravel all of this stuff that is happening, make me be like, I didn't really get nothing tangible. It's like what you Kanye say? You grow up, you get a Benz, and you still just a ninja in the Benz. It's like, I think I'm special till you read what special is. What special is, and I time and time again am starting to ask why vote. I'm not trying to discourage people from voting because it's like the boogeyman third rail question. Right? You say that and then it's like we had ancestors die for voting, and even as they died for voting, y'all still giving all of that death and that death benefit away to white folks. Right? So you tell me I gotta vote because my parents died for it, and then you tell me, then you give me Mike Madigan and his family was the ones was killing us. And I'm using Mike Madigan because I think that's our revered symbol here, that we will fight to protect and say, well, it's not him. However, every day we read another story about how they raped, robbed, and pillaged, stole our birthright, stole the benefit of our vote to make themselves rich, and then hand me the sign and say, just vote. Todd.
Oh, well, as I tell you people, I've been woke since I was a teenager. I mean, I read books that most people probably have never read by the time I was 20 because they were in the house. You know, I had older siblings and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I'm reading like Kaffir Boy, which I'm certain.
I read Kaffir Boy, don't do it.
Don't read it?
I read it. Don't say that. I'm sure you haven't because I have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're a black man in Bolingbrook.
Exactly. There it goes. That's the ones that lead the revolution, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're right. I totally agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Overeducated, smart people. But
keep them dumb.
But I can point to a million benefits. I mean, for me personally, yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm retired. That's a benefit, except I work, but
right.
But for all practical purposes, I'm retired. Chris Anderson, he's a benefit. I mean, I gave Chris Anderson a scholarship for 4 years, and then he came out. And now he's a big shot.
Yeah, tell me he's an advertiser up here. Okay, I can give you that. I think,
and I will.
Go ahead.
No, I will tell him.
Yeah, I mean,
Maze, you know something you said was about a birthright.
Mm-hmm.
And I think younger people, we are recognizing truly that our birthrights have been stolen.
Sheesh.
And once you realize that because when people wake up and you start studying history, you start studying the political system, and you listen to, your elders in some sense, you realize like, dang, these people really stole our birthrights. I mean, egregiously, right in front of our faces, and we have been complacent with this system. And so now it's like, no more. So if I can identify, hey, that's my birthright over there, I'm going to get it. We are going to go get it. And if you got to tear down a few statues to get there, that's what has to happen.
See, and I was just thinking about this. I might be wrong, but one of the problems with getting woke when you're an adult is you burned all that time when you were supposed to be preparing yourself. So now you're woke, but you really don't know how to get what you want now.
But guess what, Todd? We ain't never had nothing because we've seen it be stolen. We have not had time to build up a legacy.
Yeah, but it's been stolen by us. You know my pogo thing. I've seen the enemy. It is us. Our inability to work together,
intergenerational,
has created this. Because I never expect anybody who don't live in my neighborhood to be trying to help my neighborhood. It's going to be us in the neighborhood, and if we don't do it,
I think what I hear from Ruthie is our stuff that's supposed to be in our neighborhood is over there on Pulaski. That's what I feel like. I feel like the stuff that's supposed to be in our neighborhood.
You know what that sounds like?
What?
When Janine took the state plane and the speaker's wife was next to her, and she started telling her stories about their life, and she say things like, she go out in the backyard and people be on their swing set and they be like, I paid for this set. All
right, let's go to the live line because we got callers. Let's see what callers. What has been how have you tangibly benefited from voting? I bet if I put Illinois in that bad boy, then it'll really make it tight. What we got, Sonia? Who we got on the live line? Brother Patah, what's up, man? What's up? Talk to us.
What up, Ruthie? What up, Todd? Hey, Todd, man, you drove to work today?
Yeah, I did drive. This is the first time I've driven in like 2 weeks.
Your car on the flat.
That means Patah must be outside.
Hey, I flashed all your tires.
Oh!
Y'all gonna stop dissing Tupac, man. Give that man his respect, man. The man wrote a song, letter to the president, saying these ninjas acting up. Mr. President, send more troops.
He did.
Now the president don't send more troops. Man, it's so much I got to say, but I know I ain't got a lot of time. But man, I heard Mary say the mayor got pumped, or who can pump the mayor? Man, Trump pumped the mayor. She ain't got she got power over this city because it's a home rule city. You know what I'm saying? But she can't trump federal law. But anyway, man, I was down there at the statue. I ain't been asleep all night. I was down there. I really don't care about the statues. I don't really think that they should be taken down, but in a way I do think they should be taken down. We just need to educate our people, our children, each other on who these people were that those statues represent. Now, if they want to take it down and put it in the museum, I agree with that. If they want to take it down and replace it with DuSable, which we only got a head of a man that founded the city, even though he wore ADOS. That's one thing people don't want to recognize or say. DuSable was not ADOS.
Okay, but
you know what I'm saying? But we recognize him as a black man. So, you know what I'm saying? We need to rename Columbus Drive DuSable Drive, put a big statue up there where Christopher Columbus came down last night, and put a DuSable statue up there. And on the Trump thing, I just want for real. I'm not sitting up here acting like Trump is a great dude that loves black people. But what I really want to know, what the hell has Trump did since he's been elected? What policies has he implemented that have been the detriment to black people? What has he done to put? What laws has he placed that has been detrimental to black people, man?
Hey, I'm gonna stop, bro. Come on, man, because you're going long.
Then you can answer.
Go along. Come on.
Trump is not a politician, man. It's just like me going out on the basketball court and challenging Michael Jordan, and I beat him. He came in and beat career politicians on both sides, and people still butthurt that he won. Now,
I agree with that. Hold on, stop. Okay, we gotta stop. Thank you, Brother Patah. Thank you. I gave you my last 3 minutes. I didn't even get to go out the break. Let me just say this. I think we need to ask what is the tangible benefit of our voting. I do think there are tangible benefits, so I don't want to pretend that there aren't. But I think what we need to be looking at is what Ruthie said, which is like we've been in this hamster wheel cycle. Same people telling us to do the same thing while they keep getting rich and getting rich. Right now, even as the mayor took down the statues, right? Mike Madigan, the living, breathing symbol of the economic racism that is attacking Illinois right now, got to go to sleep in peace last night. When we come back, y'all, I want to talk about this removal of the Columbus statue. Man, I want to talk to some Italians too. I want to know what they think. I think there's got to be more than one Italian than Frank Coconati that has an opinion on this. So, could we get some Italians to call us? Give us a call. 872-259-7474. I have no love for Christopher Columbus, but if we're going to be taking people down, let's take down the real live racists instead of the ones that been dead since 1499. We'll be back.
AM 1570, WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
Man,
and say it with your
that's
chest.
deep,
872-259-7474.
I'm going to go to this.
872-259-7474. Give us a call.
Because I have it for 7:30, which is us going to Did We Teach Our Kids Wrong?
Oh.
Is violent, and did I do it at 7:30 or do I do it at 8? So, look, we're going to do the statue.
Is the city out of control?
Okay, so we're going to do 7, somewhere in that mix. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to do this statue, the takedown of the statue, one in Grant Park, the one in Little Italy, which I think is like going straight to the, like I couldn't imagine somebody, like could they go to the nation and say take the crown off, take the star and whatchamajigam down. They can't, because it's private property.
No, yeah, that one in Little Italy is in a park.
Right. So
yeah,
if there's a, like, what does it give? Do we have anything that we care about that they would then call a symbol that they could go take down?
I don't think so.
I don't think we've been able to build monuments to ourselves like that.
I ain't tripping. I'm saying.
And I think that the things that we probably feel, that some people feel like are ours, the larger group doesn't pay any attention to.
Okay, so I don't cry over Christopher Columbus, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not. I just still say that wasn't our fight, and I say that, like, they're gonna keep feeding us distractions. Now, the other part, I feel like they feed us as a victory, that as a victory. So, like, I'm not saying, I'm, how do you call that, agnostic about it, right? Like, I feel like, damn, y'all clap, and I know I probably have a Madigan obsession. Right? I think, and I don't think I have a Madigan obsession. I feel like going to Springfield, I still say this all the time. I feel like it was the best and worst thing that ever happened to me in my life, right? Mm-hmm. It was like the best because I realized, and I got to participate, but then when I realized what I was participating in, like...
You learned how to make the sausage, but then you got to see the sausage being made, which is not that good.
Well, and here's the thing. Could I be clear that I don't have a problem with the sausage being made at all? What I have a problem with is we ain't in the sausage. We don't get a cut of the finished product. Or we get the shit in wrapper. Like they done stuffed everything in, and then they be like, clip the ends, get that to the Negro.
But you know what's so messed up though? I feel like my generation, that's what we got, and we didn't know that we was getting the... Like it's so normal.
But can I tell you something, Ruthie? I don't even think the people who are helping make the sausage get it.
Ooh.
That's the thing.
Say they pawns.
Like the thing is, it's like
that's deep maze.
The thing is, it's like you grew up in this system.
That's deep.
And so if I never let you see what's behind the curtain, I could have you in the show all day long. But if I keep you compartmentalized, what happened was they put the wrong nigga in the wrong compartment. right? And so being what's crazy is I was there uniquely at the time when all of this stuff was coming to a head, right? Because they had decided that they could pump Pat Quinn. So it was like, and now here I am sitting at the linchpin of as the shift in power was leaving away from black people and going to Latinos, being in the space where the Latinos were there to receive the shit.
It's like it's kind of like you living in a system and then you know something ain't quite right, but you don't really know what you can do to get it right, and so we just become apathetic to the whole thing, and we can't become apathetic.
And I think like Ken nailed it the other day when he was like, and then you just get comfortable, right? Like he was like, man, why do I like, again, if I could live stress free, why do I want to take on the stress? And then if you niggas is gonna be giving me problems every time I come home, I'm gonna just stay in Springfield, or I'm gonna be on a trip, or I'm gonna be on a junket, or I'm gonna be on a
Do y'all feel like y'all have stuff to lose?
Yeah,
Everybody got something.
Everybody's got something to lose. They try to identify and they try to pressure you with it. I think once you get to the point where they know that you got, it's only so much I got to lose at this point. You keep fucking with me, and I'm gonna tell you like this. I think that people listen to this mug, and AT&T was like, they was like, wait, huh? Wait, huh? What do you say? Wait, what? Right? And then this AT&T thing, and it's funny. Did you see how Rich Miller played it? And you do read Capital Facts? Like, why would you smear these good guys? Because you ate from AT&T, and all y'all eat from this whole process.
Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
All of y'all eat from this process. And so it's like, no, you don't see it as wrong, because it's like you talking about being out on your boat, hanging out, because it's under repaired, and it's like, you don't even understand. It's like y'all are like the let them eat cake people. And I feel like I had an option to eat cake. I feel like I keep getting options to eat cake, and I keep saying no. I don't want your frosting. We can have our own fucking cake. That's this, right?
I agree.
That's
I agree.
Leaving TRG making a couple $100,000 a year and saying, you said what, white boy? Like, I don't care.
Well, see, that's why I say we are our own worst enemy, because we have, well, the people with money have kind of advocated to the other group, and the people who are in the middle and at the bottom, when it comes to the economic largesse, have just kind of like completely given up on figuring out how do I help the elected officials get something.
And I think the elected officials have like, I feel like
they're culpable too.
Right. I think, and here's the other part. I think once the Negroes figure out how to get, the rich people figure out how to get, then they recognize that it doesn't help them to work with black people.
It's got to be a calling. You got to want that's got to be your mission.
There's no you can black people cannot get help from black politicians.
I won't say that. I got help from one last week.
You can get help. They can pick up a phone and help you get a service. You cannot get help from a black politician to get rich. They will make white boys rich every day.
Do you think it's because they don't know? They don't know how the sausage is made themselves?
In some cases, and in some cases, they think that their instances they're gonna get in trouble.
Okay.
For messing with black. Like, don't nobody want to take a chance with black people. Nigga, you ain't gonna mess my good thing up.
You gotta have some minerals.
Give me a big voice. Give me a big voice. You are listening to What's in it for the Black People Radio live on WBGX 1570 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, but y'all know how we do at the top of the hour. Gotta say what's up to the rest of the team. What's up to Miss Ruthie Moore? Ruthie Moore, boy, I'm gonna tell you, Ruthie Angela Davis Moore in her black jacket, right?
Yeah.
Sitting up here about to kick it off. Then she got a 00, 000, got a Delta Sigma Theta swag. So you know they was already about to tear down the governor up. I thought you might not make it today, cause I thought the Deltas was gonna descend upon on what is it, Albany, Georgia?
Keisha Bottoms.
Man, Keisha Bottoms. Cause Keisha can't come out. She still got the vid still, don't she?
Not the vid.
She got the. We got to call it. I'm start calling. I got to urbanize it. The vid.
Maze, we are living in strange times.
Yes, we are, man. I feel like it's like one of those movies where it's like the Great Plague hit, and like this the setup to like Planet of the Apes. This is the setup to like Terminator. I've been in so many movies. I'm just like, and I feel like I'm living in The Running Man. I'm not watching Black Darkness or whatever that is Todd is talking about.
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror,
yes.
We got some calls. Let's take a couple calls and then we're gonna go to this conversation about the removal of the statue, and is the mayor punkable? All right, let's go. Sonia, who we got on the live line? Abraham, you on the Maze Jackson show. What's up, man? How you feeling this morning? Great.
What I'm saying, I'm with the brother. You should not tear down those statues. They got a budget to maintain those statues. When you tear down those statues and give it to a museum that favors the white community, you're just giving a bigger budget to the white community. I say put up our own statues right next to theirs. Commission someone to put up our statues and get that budget to maintain our legacy right next to theirs. You got to teach both sides. You can't tear it down so they can whitewash history 15 years from now. That's my opinion on that.
Okay, well, I take your opinion. I don't know if I want to build, and here's the thing. I don't think it's a side here. So let me just say this. And this is the part I do think. Like I think we all know now that Christopher Columbus did not discover America. So I don't think there's another.
He was already here?
Right. I don't think there's another side to teach to that story. Right? I think now if you want to put Pocahontas next to him and what's his name, Squanto, and all the people that taught him, and you want to put like a fish garden because they learned how to put the fish with the corn. Oh, that's the Pilgrims. My fault. You want to put like a Plymouth Rock there. You know what I'm saying? Or you want to change the plaque and be like, here is the Christopher Columbus, who America used to say discovered America, but what he really did was kill a whole bunch of people with Spain's money. Now, we can do whatever you want to do, but I think it's a big investment. Let me go to the next caller. Who we got? Caller, you're on the live line.
Hi, I want to answer the question as about
voting.
What does voting does? Yes. Now, as far as tangible, so I'll say this: it has given us a voice. It can, but has the potential to. I live in Auburn Gresham, and Howard Brookins is my alderman. And when he was up for re-election, they go around to people's houses and stuff like that, knocking on doors. He himself was doing that, and we had a long conversation on my porch because I'm a Chicago public school teacher. And when Karen Lewis was our leader and we were striking, and I was wondering, where his voice was. And about Laquan McDonald, how those aldermen signed off and different things like that. And so, and there was a liquor store put up on 87 across from Home Depot. And there was a big thing about that as well. So we do have voice. Now, I'm not in control with what they do when they leave the conversation, but we do have voice. And like we meet with he meets with block clubs, up at the library on 95th, the last Saturday every month. So we do have our voice. Another thing I want to say is the same thing you were saying about that sign you found in your garage about just vote blue. Reverend Meeks was saying the same thing. And that's when he went to with Ronner over Quinn. People couldn't understand it and their head blew off. Even mine, I ain't gonna even lie, I left the church over that because that was just too much. But anyway, he saw that. I believe that he saw that that we just vote blue. And some Sundays he would say, "Y'all Negroes, what you get for that? You know, y'all do that, and what do you get for that?" So I think he was right, and you guys, you two, have the same idea about just voting blue and being loyal, and what has that gotten us?
Thank you.
So I think the political system gives us voice.
Okay.
Now, what they do with that is a whole nother situation.
Thank you for your call. I think it gives us voice. But what is it saying? And what voice is it communicating? Whose message is it communicating? Come on, Sonia, let me take this last call.
Okay, Joseph?
Joseph, you're on the Maze Jackson Show.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good morning. Joseph
morning.
Williams. I wanted to just call in particular about the statue removal. I wanted to say that what we're looking at, it really reveals history, but I love to see what's happening when you're looking at park districts get different names now. And now they want to name one after Frederick Douglass, and you see the removal of the Christopher Columbus statue. I think that's a huge significance. Our children that has to grow up, and other individuals, they're going to see black names now and see maybe black statues to come and different things within that way. And I think that's a piece of history right there. We have to represent ourselves, and I think it sets a tone because, again, our children are going to grow up now and get to see this. That statue's been there since 1930s. You know, like my grandfather probably didn't even get a chance to probably see a lot of this type of stuff happening. So I just feel really good about what's happening. I think everybody has their own lane. A lot of people say, well, why are blacks worried about statues? Why are they worried about this? Look, we got blacks who's going to worry about the reparations. We got blacks who's going to worry about this, and they're going to worry about that. We got to let everybody stay in their lane, but don't knock each other. We got to support what the movement is right now, and I think some good things are to come out of a lot of this stuff. So I just wanted to just weigh in about this for sure.
Okay, I appreciate that. I think that there's a lot of views on it. Again, that's why I say.
Hey, I think one interesting thing is, you know, a lot of these parks and things and statues, we pass by them all the time. Like, I don't know who that guy is. So now, as they rename him, we're like, oh, that's who that's renamed for.
Oh, I mean, I'll give you all of that. Here's me. I don't have any tears for Christopher Columbus. But here's where I want to go. I think that one in Grant Park was one. I think the mayor told us that they were going to come up with a comprehensive policy to figure out who comes down and when they come down and what the process is. Right? I think about my dear, dear friends at Village Leadership Academy who 4 years ago asked to have the Douglas Park on the west side not named after Stephen Douglas, but to rename it after Frederick Douglass. I remember them being ignored for years and years and years and years, and now all of a sudden, which I'm very happy for them. But we don't play in Grant Park. We don't. We don't go visit Grant Park, really. Grant Park is where white people have Lollapalooza.
And play softball.
And in the places where our children are, right, this wasn't even a priority. So, like, did they go tear the sign up at Douglas Park? Did they go change that symbol? And I'm not tripping. Again, I'm not tripping at all.
The interesting thing about that question is, I don't know how long ago, but somebody already added another S to it.
Yeah, somebody. But think about what it took, and it's making me think about Ruthie and her premise of like the lie, being lied to all this time. So here's where I want to go, y'all. The mayor. Okay, I want to talk about the removal of the Columbus statue. And the process that will now be in place. First of all, I want to start by saying that initially, here's another one of those examples. The mayor initially said we're not taking down the Columbus Park statue. I'm just saying, okay. I just want, because there's a pattern here. There's a pattern here, and I just need to. Y'all remember when she was the person who deployed the police to protect the statue, right?
Okay.
Yes.
She let the police get assaulted. They got beat up, projectile, stabbed, whatever, and it turned into a public relations mess.
Well, I wouldn't say that she let. I mean, who thought that the crowd would have some
Ruthie
violent
did.
people in it?
Ruthie did.
You did?
And I
That
think
I don't think anybody expected that level of organizing, like, because we are so accustomed to peaceful protests. So I think Maze is about to hit on
But don't you think there was two groups organized within that one group?
I think there were. Well, see, that's the narrative.
Like May
that's the
said
narrative
last
of the police and the mayor, is that these are agitators. Okay.
I don't think they're agitators. I think they're here now. I think that we now have an active, a group that is willing to take action at every single one of these events.
But white folks.
I think it's a mix. I told you I was on that.
There's always some black people.
I
mean, there were some black people in Bolingbrook.
I'm not debating it. I'm saying that I'm gonna say I think a lot of these things are led by white folks, but neither here nor there. Right now, what I believe is you can no longer assume that any protest will be peaceful. I think that at this point, we have now reached a point in Chicago where all of the things that we probably thought could never happen here, and probably because we always knew there was a mayor that was going to be like, put the crackdown down, right? Like, you knew, and even if the images prior to this would have never been the police getting their butts whooped, and then the mayor saying, report them afterwards. The images we would have seen is, I don't know what happened, or we would have seen no cameras, and it would have been the police putting on helmets and gear and wading into the crowds.
Maze, you know the imagery during the civil rights movement of all the young people from the Children's March getting sprayed with the water hoses and the dogs and all this stuff, and that really shifted the national tide, and people were outraged and da-da-da-da-da. I think the police have been used to quell protests in that way against black people and people who are uprising. But nowadays, there's a different level of non-fear.
That's my
We
point.
are not afraid of the police in that manner.
Man,
Wait, Ruthie, I think you took a tremendous leap. The people who were getting all that before, they weren't afraid. They knew what was going to happen.
No, they were afraid. If you listen
everybody's afraid.
If you listen to Dorothy Tillman, that just means you're crazy. They just said they had God. Now, that's what Dorothy. I mean, you listen to Dorothy Tillman. She tell you they was afraid.
Right.
They was like they were not. They weren't afraid. They were not. But here's my point. And I think this is where we got to get some understanding. I think that the anticipation of everybody is nothing bad will happen. I think that the anticipation for years has been that we can kind of keep this thing contained.
I'm talking. Who was we?
The police, the city, government, etc. I think one of the things that I would say that Ruthie is pointing out when she compares this to like the Arab Spring and all the stuff is if we go to that, if it is that same thing, then Todd, we got real issues. Here's what I am saying.
Well, we always got real issues.
I think we've always got real issues. I don't think this is going to stop. Let's just put it that way.
No,
I don't think.
I go back to, as Hans tells me, this is organized, and don't think this is just people from.
Todd, I think that's what we're saying.
This is people who come from all around. When they realize that something's going to go down, like, we need to be there to cause some real problems.
I would tell you that,
or as we say, chaos.
I would tell you that my guess is that there are also people who are locally based who have been building, right? That since they occupied downtown, since this stuff is not like I don't believe that. I think what's happened is they've reached a critical mass, and I think that there are people all over the country who believe the same way. And I don't think that people are driving in now to go do the Columbus statue. I think that there is a group.
Yeah, that's too short.
I think there's a group locally that is organized, a network of people that's like, yo, we not, they ain't finna come out here and just whoop nobody. If it goes down, we ready to go.
No, I think you got the group wrong. There's a group that is, yeah, we're gonna be there and we're gonna start some crap. Something's gonna happen. If we're gonna be there, something's gonna happen. It's not. They're not trying to stop things rapping. They're trying to force the issue.
That's the point.
They want the police to engage
so that they can beat the police.
No, it's a bigger picture. You want the police to engage so you can start a fire. I keep on telling you, got to watch Captive State.
Okay.
It tells you exactly what's going on.
I think this, and I guess we gotta take some calls.
Ruthie, when you get home,
I'm trying to process what you just said. Can you explain a little bit more about what you mean, like your opinion when you say like that people are coming just to engage with the police, or like what are you saying?
Oh yeah, you know how they keep on talking about the anti-fascists.
Okay.
There's not just them. There's all kind of groups, but they come to these protests because they want to start some crap. They want something to happen where the police and the citizens start fighting, and that just helps fuel that we need to get rid of government. That they want to push.
Okay.
I don't think you all are necessary. I mean, here's what I think. I think we're at a critical point in our city. I think that honestly, the mayor has conceded, in my estimation. I think
the mayor's smarter than you think, or the mayor and her people. They saw what was going on, and that's why they try not to engage. They don't want to be the.
Okay, so they're trying to play both sides.
Right, I'm confused on the leadership.
Oh, the mayor's always trying to play both sides.
I think that the city of Chicago and the mayor tried to play both sides because there is a global awakening going on. And so the mayor knows that, okay, I have to be on the side of my citizens against some of these larger oppressive forces that are trying to retain their power globally. And I also think the mayor is like, but hold on, I still gotta, I hate to use this word, law and order, but the mayor's like, but I still got to maintain law and order. Well, and it's a balancing act.
I agree.
When she says
she's
no,
supposed to be a progressive,
she keeps switching though.
But you can't let people come in and just burn your city down.
But is this her city or not? Because this is what she said over a month ago about Columbus.
Columbus Day is an issue of great discussion. But I think that the way in which we educate our young people in particular about the history is to educate them about the full history. I have been watching with great interest the debate that's been going on around Confederate monuments. And there was a black historian, and I don't remember his name.
Because you don't know no
But
black
he said, and I think he's right,
really
that we can use this moment as an opportunity to not try to erase history, but embrace it full on. There was a lot of harm that happened over the arc of the history of this country, beginning with the original sin of slavery. And it's way past time that we have a reckoning on that. But I think we also have to recognize that our history, both in this country, in our city, is rich and diverse. And the thing that we need to do is do what I think the organizers of the Columbus Day Parade have done, which is invite many people of different backgrounds, different perspectives, to participate in what is really a people's celebration. And I think we need to spur that kind of unifying and healing dialogue and not separate and divide people.
Now, Todd, this is the perfect time for you to say, huh?
No, I was saying she's got a point about embracing history. The more you know, it's going to make you uncomfortable.
But she said no, it stays. Now it goes.
Yes.
Like many other things.
I just think that she is a walking contradiction. And I am also going to say...
I'm saying she's in a tough position.
It's
a really hard job.
You know what? And guess what? That's probably why she shouldn't be trying to tell people what they can't talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't making no excuses. Like, here's the thing. Being the mayor is a really tough job. She auditioned for it. She stood up. She put her finger in everybody's face. And I am going to point out that even as... Did we get a solution on what happened on 79th Street? Have we heard about what? Where we at on 79th Street? See, here's what Columbus does.
You realize that these type of shootings have happened before.
Todd. But you also realize that this Columbus thing is a distraction.
Somebody tried to try to do something about it. and that's basically what the crime bill was a reaction to. Everybody's like, well, we just sending black people to jail. No, people shooting people are sending black people to jail.
Okay.
The ones that aren't going to the morgue.
So, again, and I don't know what that had to do with
So
this.
why are we not talking about those that committed those crimes in jail right now? We're talking about a statue.
Right. I mean, here's my thing. But the statue...
Hey, you forget history, you forget everything. Okay, don't forget me that stuff.
So this is what I'm going to say.
I have my CPS.
Hey, y'all, forget this history. Here goes the history. Every time there is an epic fail, there is a distraction. It's like, so... Now, I lost your lives on the south side. I have no absolute plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to concede the statue of Columbus to be the new news story instead. Now, nobody now. What are we talking about? And again, the mayor is a master of distraction.
This statue thing will disappear in 2 days.
Right, until they go find the next statue. So they decide that that's the next target. So, Ruthie.
Yes, sir.
Could you use the secret code to the Black Ops and tell them they need to go on Pulaski? They need to, could they make... So here's my thing. They need to go to the Lithuanian Museum. Right? The Lithuanian Museum where the wizardry where the black people got to go up the back steps to go pledge our... Because you know something? Can I tell you something, Ruthie?
What you got, mate?
On the back steps.
Oh, you're telling too much.
I am. The back steps of the Lithuanian Museum on Pulaski is where the selling of our birthright goes down. So, let me tell you. Every black politician, to become an elected official, for the most part, when they are seeking the blessing of the Democratic Party, i.e. the Speaker Madigan, they must make a journey, a pilgrimage, where at that pilgrimage they must pledge, they must ask for the blessing of the Speaker. And in that asking of the blessing of the Speaker to become the elected representative, to be our quote-unquote voice, it is at that moment when you bow down and you acknowledge that to get the position, you must go bow down to this guy. He make you climb up some back steps too. He make you act a fool a little bit, right? He try to make it a little tough, right? He be like, let me make these fools climb up these steps. Anyway, it is there that they pledge out their allegiance to the Speaker and give away our birthright. Nobody wants to talk about it. But I do think that what I am seeing from the young people may be the only way that we break this. Because can I tell y'all what we haven't heard from anybody right now?
What?
We ain't heard nothing from nobody black on the shooting, in their spread. Because nobody wants to touch that. Because then if you talk about what happened on 79th, it's hard to open up with the I want to thank the mayor and I want to thank the governor for so don't nobody want to be at that press conference because and then they don't want to ask no questions. And then the other part is nobody wants to address the fact that we are living in a society in Illinois where we tore down the Columbus statue. Check this out. This is what happened. White kids targeted their great-granddaddies and uncles' statue, Columbus. I'm going to say some black people in that mix, but I'm going to say the undereducated black folks in most neighborhoods still think Christopher Columbus discovered the country in 1492. But I'm going to let that be because that's part of the undereducation of the Negro. Now, then, black folks gathered as white folks accomplished their goal of tearing down the statue. The symbol of racism in Illinois. Meanwhile, Speaker Madigan gets a pass as an Irish green team company profits off of the removal of the statue. So the Italians mad, the blacks clapping, And the white and the green team got rich again.
Y'all saw that?
Maze, I don't think that the blacks are clapping. I think the blacks are like, dang. So this how we can really make change like this?
No, I think if you watch the Facebook Live, they clap it.
You know why they dancing? No, they're dancing.
How is it that the Columbus statue got built in the 1930s? Ain't nobody say nothing then? Nobody was advocating for putting up our stuff next to that. Did we not have the power then to demand that it be taken down?
See, that's the problem.
Like, what happened?
That's the problem with our schools, I guess.
Well,
we ought to know that, we didn't have any power back then. You can't compare today to 1920 through 30, or even all the way up to, I would say,
the same statues was up.
All the way up to 1970.
The same process.
We didn't have any pool. And the city was totally different. When I say different, I mean the dynamics of the numbers.
Let me just say,
white people totally control.
Let me be clear. I just want to point out something real quick though.
And
here's the reality of this situation, and I want to make sure black people hear this. And Ruthie, I'm with you. I think first of all, I don't think black folks got stoned for floating across the wrong line in the lake. So in the 1930s, 1919, something like that.
1919.
Anyway,
Right.
but I think what we gotta look at right now is the fact we got calls. All right, I think we gotta look at the fact that right now, y'all, if it was black kids that led that charge, that flipped into black umbrellas, that threw bottles, that went on assault on that statue, let's be clear that the response would have been much different.
I think so.
Because the media, and I think black kids are looking and clapping because they was like, I know if I would have went out there and jumped in that, and under what circumstances have you ever seen it turn out well that black kids get to beat and fight the police? You remember Mayor Lightfoot said, keep them Negroes from downtown by any means necessary. Now, I don't say by any means necessary, but she shut it down. She put down, when it's black kids, remember when black kids came downtown for spring break and she shut downtown down? Yeah. You remember that? They stopped the buses. They said, y'all can't even come down here. Mm-hmm. Just be clear. The white kids made that possible. Because there would have been no mercy, especially by this mayor, on no black kids. That's the same one that said move around. Look, y'all, I think our mayor is ultimately punkable, though. I think this is what this is shown, is we got to find some white people who willing to throw some rocks and we can get what we want. Hey, y'all, we're going to talk about it all when we come back. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I want to get your opinion, though. I don't know about this tough. I don't know if the mayor is really tough anymore. I think she's lost on every issue for the most part, except telling the black people to stay in the house. When we come back, we're going to talk about it. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Give us a call. 872-259-7474. I'm looking for some Italians. Man, she came in y'all neighborhood. She didn't just take the one on Grant in Grant Park. I could get that one. She went in their backyard, though. Hey, could you imagine you woke up in your backyard and the Med took your statue out your backyard? Your bird bath, gone. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Call in and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. That's 872-259-7474. Give us a call and say it with your chest.
Right, we know Black Lives Matter. Our guys just hit me up.
7474.
Another one of our friends said Black Lives Matter in Beverly. I'm like, I know they matter in Beverly. The white people don't know. Don't tell me. Tell the white people.
The white people don't know.
All right. Todd, can you talk a little bit more about some of the history of Chicago in the 1930s and the ways that black people were not able to organize? Or
first,
we weren't able. Let me.
First, I'll say I'm not an expert.
Okay. Okay.
I am fairly well read, and I listen to some old people talk. Mm-hmm. It's not that we weren't organized. It's that we had no power. We didn't have any numbers. Mm-hmm. Numbers is everything, especially in politics. So you have to remember. Well, Maze used to talk about the the power sharing
Mm-hmm.
that the city had. So,
Okay.
you know, right now, if you look at the city and you see all these places where Hispanics are, mostly
Mhm.
Mexicans for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what who used to be there?
Black people?
No.
Who?
Like Polish people,
Okay.
Ukrainians,
Mm-hmm.
Italians, but a lot of Polish people.
Okay. So wait, we didn't have the numbers.
Yeah.
It's about the 30s, okay? So then Great Migration kept happening. So what about the 60s? Did black people get the power in Chicago during the Civil Rights Movement, or the numbers still weren't?
No,
weren't
the
there?
numbers still weren't there.
Okay.
But, you know, what you got was, as time goes on, you know, Mayor Daley, the first Mayor Daley, comes in 1955, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And as things come on, like you're saying, the migration, we're getting more and more black people.
Uh-huh.
They, slowly but surely, they have to give us more because we're becoming a bigger part of the world. Now we're still in the back of the bus, but now we're on the bus. You know, before we were walking.
Okay.
But so, like my dad would say, something would happen. Black people would make us think about it, as they well should.
Like in when?
So for him, because I
Uh-huh.
mean he got here in 54.
Okay.
But he wasn't. So he joins the Young Democrats of the Third Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere, I guess, more like close to the late 50s, like 56.
Mm-hmm.
So now he has an organization that gives him information. He kind of gets a feel of what's going on.
Uh-huh.
You know, he becomes either the president or the vice president of Young Democrats, so he's more in the mix. And so, you know, civil rights comes, black people start, you know, demanding more.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor acquiesces more.
In the 60s?
Right.
Who was the mayor at that time?
Old Man Daley.
So Old Man Daley, the 60s, but black people still technically didn't really have the numbers?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
we still were.
What about the political power? Did we have the political power?
You know how you get political power?
Money?
Numbers.
No. Back then it's the numbers. Right.
Okay.
There's a joke that President Kennedy is not President Kennedy yet, but he comes to one of the parades the city's having, and he's riding in a car with the mayor, and he's looking out, and he sees, like, in some places there's like a whole crowd of people, in other places just a sparse number, and he's like, well, why don't they spread out? And the mayor says they're where they should be. So what that means was every ward had a spot. So if the 11th ward had a ton of people, they were all in one spot, and the mayor knew that ward came out well.
Okay.
Let's say the 16th ward was in a spot and they had a few people. He knew that ward didn't, and he was going to talk to them about it. Things were very top heavy.
Y'all need to start. Y'all need to go revisit. Y'all need to go revisit poli sci. I mean, because I think poli sci might come into this. I think a lot of political power and what was. I mean, I think it was permissible to kill niggas. Like you out the wrong space. Like
it was terror.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Terror is how white people have always tried to keep control over.
Ready?
So how'd you get it back?
You are
organized.
Listen to What's in It for the Black People Radio. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, and Miss Ruthie Moore. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, I am loving this conversation because this is dialogue. This is straight up dialogue, and nobody has to agree, but we got to come with an outcome. Let me ask y'all: is the city of Chicago out of control in your opinion, Todd?
Oh yes, in all sorts of ways. I think maybe the COVID-19 helps with that, but I still thought we were kind of out of control before this.
You thought we were out of control before the COVID-19? I can't even remember before COVID-19.
There was just too much random, crazy violence.
I feel like it was kind of dying down. I don't know if I feel like it was. I don't know if I agree with that.
You know what's crazy?
What's crazy?
Now you two aren't. Well, I mean you were born here, but Ruthie. Not that I'm trying to disparage you.
Yes, you are.
Go ahead. I know you are. Take your little shot, Todd.
My dad's from Helena, Arkansas. I think Pembroke may have had more people. So, but how many of us can say, I know people who were killed? I mean, I'm 57, so I've gotten a long way. But on my way, I know people who one day they weren't there anymore. Somebody shot them. I mean,
or they got lynched, or okay. So
no, they got shot, but they got shot by black people. I'm not talking about the white people stuff.
Okay.
I know white people are tough on us, but I mean, out of the blue, somebody working gets shot on 78th and Sangamon. I'm like, dang, I used to play softball with Ray. That kind of stuff. That's why I say that we are destroying ourselves. It's hard to organize when there's so much internal strife. That
I agree with that. I mean, because I'd be like, who am I organizing with? Right? Like, sometimes you be like, dude, you part of the problem. Let's go to the live lines. Like, hey, dog, didn't I see you outside last night in my garage? All right, I seen you on my Ring camera. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Let's take some of the calls. Let's go to the live line. Who's on the line, Sonia? Keith Price. Keith Price. Let me tell y'all what. Keith doing this thing out in Harvey, Illinois. Priceless, K&T, Priceless Transportation. They got me safely to Kansas and back. Keith said he's still trying to recover though. What's up, Keith?
Good morning.
Good morning. Man, Maze, I'm real conflicting about the statues. I mean, taking statues down to me is like pacification. I don't think we're the people that's actually all behind this movement. I don't think it means a damn thing if it's not going to fall off into the curriculum of schools. I don't think it means a damn thing if we're going to still have the same people holding us back in this in this place that we live in. I believe that we all know Columbus didn't discover a damn thing if it was already occupied. And to take all these pictures and statues down, but still want the paper that has these same slave owners on it is just a big contradiction. You don't see people burning their money because of these same people on those bills. And then like my biggest thing is the biggest people that's oppressing us right now or not doing anything for our people in Illinois is people like Mike Madigan. It's people that keep black people divided in the south suburbs, like Frank Zuccarelli. I think we have bigger problems than some damn statues, and that's just what pisses me off, man.
Hey Keith, and that's like I think my brother. First of all, thank you for your call. My brother called in earlier. I think his name was Daryl, and said, we all got our lane, and I'm not tripping on our lane. I just don't want to celebrate Pyrrhic victories. I just don't. And it's like, I feel like this Columbus statue is another Euro step. Chicago, Illinois Euro step. Now if it, and Ruthie, you give me hope, right? Because you told me it's going to make the 71st and Pulaski, right? But I'm telling you that it's hard for me to watch us attack inanimate objects when we pass laws to pacify. Like, I feel like that's the same thing as them passing the laws to pacify us. Like, we claim the victory because there's a social equity program. Like, so now the cannabis companies acknowledge that we've done you wrong all these years, but they still gonna make their $50 million a month.
Yeah, we passed a lot of laws that have no real teeth.
To pass,
celebrate, but they don't do nothing.
Think about this though. The green team right now, and I'll be honest with you, we perception-wise, like, the green team has taken over everything, right? Like, all that stuff that we used to think of as, having the Italians and all that, they done got pushed out. the green team, unions, jobs, contracts, legislation. You think about the law and order. Where is the law and order? Where are the laws that have been passed? Think about Susana Mendoza saying she wanted to murder people with her bare hands. Talking about our people. These people still walk amongst us, and they gonna be at the protest. They gonna be jumping in front of the statue talking about, I'm with y'all. No, y'all were the people that execute like the most physical harm that has happened to black people. The dude is... Think about when we asked for justice in Illinois and the people who opposed it legally for us to be able to hire to appoint judges are the people that appointed the judges that protected John Burge, that protected this whole entire system. When you think about the fact that the appellate court judge that Mike Madigan put people over, that he skipped over the whole process and put them in an appellate court position, and how many police murders have they protected? Right? When you talk about the fact that we spent $500 million on police settlements approved and no outcomes from it, because the murder cycle works where the police kills, they take it to the finance committee. The finance committee picks which law firm, says, okay, we put a value of $5 million price tag on black life, and we ain't gonna never stop this cycle. And we are outside at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning in Grant Park. And I'm not knocking it. But it's like the people, and then you think about the company that got the contract. This is how slick they are. The company that gets the contract to take the statue down is the one that's really doing it to you. They're going to be at the green team at the Irish Fellowship talking about, woo, we dodged the bullet this time. Sent it to the Italians. And again, we celebrating someone else. Like I feel like the green team has mastered how to deal with Negroes. Cause can I tell y'all, we are at the most pivotal time to create meaningful, substantive legislation that could change our lives, and they got y'all running around the block. Now, you want to march? You want to be somewhere? Go be in front of all the black legislators' offices and say, we want a special session. Go get on 71st Street and say, man, y'all just saw a mass killing and we haven't seen any outcome. We want a special session. Where's the violence prevention people? Like, how much of our energy, how many of them white folks are flooding in those same neighborhoods? They ain't coming south. They ain't coming on 79. So all I'm suggesting is this cycle of murder, this profit on black death has a real origin. A real origin right here, right now. It's like you can see it. You can touch it. It's tangible. And I want all of our black, mad, happy, good, bad, whatever you are, to recognize that the dance in the street should come when the wizard is dead. It's like we dancing because we took down a dead statue. It's like we took down the cop down the street while the person with their foot on our neck is like, I'm so glad. You know what? I'm telling you, green team right now, they like, got him again.
I think they more like, whoa, this might be coming to us next.
They like, you know what they saying? You know how long we've been dealing with these Negroes?
Not in this way. It's a different crop of Negroes, Maze.
I think it's a different crop of Negroes that don't know who can be directed as that. Ruthie.
Yes,
you,
sir.
you, me and you, we here. We talk. Mm-hmm. But again, I don't think the pain and suffering that black people feel, they know where to direct it. And I think the white guys
Agreed.
And that's all I'm saying. We don't know where to direct all this pain and anger and stuff that's happening to us. We're directing it in the wrong direction, and it's like we're shooting Scud missiles. Right now, if you said tomorrow we are taking the fight to 71st and Pulaski, can I tell you what would happen? Todd would be about the studio. You saw he started coughing.
But if we said not going anywhere except to 85th.
No, but you know what? If we took that approach, they would proactively try to figure out with all the tools in the toolbox with that $55 billion that they chop up every year. They'd be like, how can we use this to get these Negroes up off of us? And then we can have some tangible. That's my point. Know who you putting the pressure on. You putting the pressure on a piece of concrete. Anybody knock down a piece of concrete, will they knock down your oppressor? Sonia, go to the live line. Brother Ball.
Yep. First, man, Todd, I was 14 years old when I lost my first friend. 8th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. He took a straight bullet to the head making his grandmother some coffee on 39th and State Street. My second buddy the next year, Lamont, he got shot in his head by a double-barrel shotgun at Argyle Gardens for some brand-new gym shoes and a Jabot outfit. My third friend at high school, Michael Long, R.I.P. to all them guys. Michael Long got shot on 79th and Carpenter, in between 79th and 80th and Carpenter. I mention all these things to y'all to say this. I'm kind of numb to death. I've been dealing with death since about 14, right? So here in the streets of Chicago, I'm not the only person, Ty. You said you miss your friend at 60. I had a friend who killed himself 2 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? So I've been dealing with death since I was 14.
Yeah.
Now, if I go see a doctor, they might say I have PTSD. They might diagnose me with all kind of things. Just yesterday, I was in Hazelcrest, right? I'm finishing off a deck in Hazelcrest, and I'm looking at the kids in the neighborhood. They don't have any idea of what it's like to live in Chicago and be in fear of bouncing your basketball in the street and maybe somebody shooting at somebody and you getting shot. You know how many kids go outside and stand on bus stops every morning? I was one at 6 in the morning and at 4 in the evening, and are oblivious right now because they have these ear pods in. We are so distracted as a people. Now, when you talk about our older generation that depend on what? The news for all their information. Communication has been wiped out. This communication that we're having, this dialogue, is obsolete amongst people because people are scared. I go in and out of people's houses all the time. They want me to wear a mask. I wear my mask and say I can't breathe. So, it's like the world that we living in, it's a cruel place, y'all. I want y'all to understand that. It's a really cruel place. It's a mean place. None of us were asked to be here. Our focus is when we get here and we understand and understand where we at. How do we navigate? My solution is I would like separation. Because at this point, it's proven that humans can't live with each other. But I've seen birds, pigeons, and seagulls all share the ground and eat crumbs right next to each other. I see squirrels and possums going in and out of the same garbage can that they made a hole in the top. So everything can live with each other, but humans can't.
Thanks, bro. Brother Ball be coming with I'm glad Brother Ball found us, man. We got any more calls, Sonia? You know what? Sonya said I gotta take a break, so this is what we're gonna do. We are going to encourage you all that as we continue this conversation, think about stopping by Kim Barton Beverage Shop this weekend, getting you a little sip. Get you, you like that Uncle Nearest, huh?
Oh man, I tried it. It's like
80 proof.
80.
It's like 80 or 100 proof.
Ooh, they ain't playing. And then and then your DePaul classmate has the red, black, and green tequila. What's his name, John?
Basil.
John Basil tequila.
Beautiful packaging too.
Oh, you know what? It's classy, man. It's classy. He knew exactly what to do to get the black folks. And Todd, just for you, they also sell milk in the back cooler. Hey, y'all, this musical break is brought to you by Kimbark Beverage Shop. Also, want to send a big shout out to the Reverend Willie Wilson, who wants to encourage you to get your PPE. Your PPE, is that it? Get your PPE
Personal
from
protective
Old
equipment.
Mart Inc. You know what I'm saying? Black owned, black business. Look out, we'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. Call in and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. That's 872.
It's pretty interesting in the sense that we tend to do things that the rest of the nation hasn't, like sending black people to Congress. So the first northern congressman came from Illinois.
You know something that
She know that she was part of Poli Sci 101.
You know something that
Oscar the Priest, thank you very much.
symbolism.
I'm speaking to the group,
But
man.
y'all know how we keep talking about like the
That's-
statues are like symbolism and
that's
things
the
like
point.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just talked about how how I'm just overgeneralizing, but how it was enough, it was a tangible win for y'all to be able to get black people elected into these different offices. That's symbolism.
No.
And that's important, right?
No, it's not symbolism. Once you're in the office, that means you're at the table.
But Todd, I feel like we have been sold out by elected officials for a long time. So to me, that's symbolism.
I agree. That's the whole thing that we get out of.
Let me put it like this.
Put it like that. What
You wouldn't be sitting across the table from me if all those people hadn't done what they've done.
Ty, I can say if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
No. My point is, you still be in Pembroke. You still be in Pembroke because you wouldn't be able to come up here. They'd be like, you ain't going nowhere, Ruthie. You staying with us.
If fifth, we all be drunk.
No. You got to look at history. I'm thinking about if.
All right, let's look at history then.
Forget about if.
So since we got them,
we would not be here.
So
Think about
since
we would not be here.
So since 1970. Since 1970.
Well, because it's before 1970.
I know. I'm saying. So let's.
You want to?
I want to start a clock. Let's start a clock since we got the right to put black people in elections.
Ruthie, you want to start a clock when he was born?
Right. Okay. We'll start in 1985.
No. We'll start in 1970.
So like once
kind of important.
Okay, so 1970, from 1970 to now.
All right, 70 to now.
And actually, I want to take that back because I would say you got affirmative action in the 70s.
Okay.
So let's say from 1985, right, where I feel like we're kind of in the mix, right?
Okay.
Like you got affirmative action working. My parents, everybody got somewhere in the.
You got black mayors.
Yeah. You got black banks. You got all the stuff going on.
All right. 1985.
Then we start to elect more black elected officials.
Then Jay-Z comes. No.
You better stop those social get mad. Come on, Maze. Stay the course, Maze.
Where have we won? Like, what has been our
most... Oh, you say what have been our wins since then?
What are our tangible victories since we... Yeah.
Well...
And, I mean, beyond the fact that we got elected a black president, we had 2 black presidents, because remember, we gave it to Clinton first.
No, you gotta have some kind of...
So since we've been on the... since we've been on the slide, Tad, since we've been on the anti-affirmative action, what has been
we've been losing, in my opinion, we've been losing things left and right.
Yeah.
I say...
and getting more elected officials.
I'm not starting at 1985. I'll start in 1980.
Okay.
Because I think that's when Reagan is elected. I think from that point on, things start getting really hairy for us. As they push this whole, the world's colorblind.
Mm-hmm.
You Negroes don't need anything because you're just part of the regular world.
But you know what? And this might be controversial, but I feel like that was the problem with integration. We kind of was like, hey, it messed up our economic power base. It messed up our cultural power base.
I agree with you.
So what are we supposed to do? Do we go back to segregate? Like, what do we do?
We're supposed to stick together when it counts.
Okay, but you know one thing I feel like they told us to do is to vote. Get some black elected officials in there.
And we did.
But what is that? But what?
Like I told you.
But if that strategy ain't working,
forget about the three of us. The four of us wouldn't be here if those black people who were elected officials.
Todd, and if my mama and
anything.
daddy wouldn't have met, I wouldn't be here. I feel like that's beside the point. I feel like that's
No, that's
excuse
important.
my word choice, but that's a cop out.
Thank you, Lord, for letting my
That's
mom
a cop-out.
meet on the stairs at 47th Street.
It's a cop out.
Without
It's a
them, I
cop
would
out
not
for
be here.
inaction. It's a cop out for inaction.
No, it's not a cop out. I'm saying that you are skipping a whole ton of things that happened because
No.
just because you don't know.
Break it down. I done asked you about 5 times what it is. I asked you for dates, for decades, for timelines, and you ain't told me nothing
And
yet.
what did I tell you?
You said
I'm not a historian.
yeah, but you are though. But you are.
I said
though.
I'm well read and I've listened to people older than
You
me.
are a historian.
And I was telling you, but the break ended. And so I was going to start again, but then
Okay.
Lance brought something
Todd,
up.
excuses. Tools of the incompetent.
He
to
didn't
build
learn that.
monuments of
He
nothingness.
didn't learn that.
That's
Still
because
trying to figure-
that's what people say when they want their argument to be right. That
No,
doesn't mean nothing
I'm
to me.
asking
That don't
you-
mean nothing to me, Ruthie.
What I'm saying is
Ruthie
that
Moore.
y'all can't say that, oh, these statues are symbolic, and then when I say,
He
well,
said that.
No.
I've been listening to him all day. He said that.
If these statues are symbolic, then I would say that these black elected officials are also symbolic.
I agree with that.
Well, that's because were you talking today, or you talking about just?
Let's talk about right now. Let's talk about the last 20
Todd.
years.
Come on,
Let's talk
Todd.
about from 2000 to
Come
now.
on, Todd.
Well, Ruthie thinks that because she can live where she lives.
Don't you tell them my streets, Todd. I don't want them out there juking like they was in front of me.
Hey, come on out, girl.
All I'm saying is,
No, see, you don't understand.
Well, help me understand.
Excuse me, forget that. I'm not saying you don't understand.
Alright.
But you're not talking about the tangibles that get us where we were. Because
What are they? Tell me.
Because you're not talking about.
Tell me.
You're not talking about where we started from.
Tell me then, Todd, where we start from.
Well, I'll take John Stroger. John Stroger is in Helena, Arkansas, and there's West Helena. West Helena is the big city.
Alright.
Helena, but if you listen to him, it was New York.
Alright.
He comes from Catholic Hollow.
Okay.
Poor as dirt.
Alright.
His father does odd jobs. His mother's a domestic.
Okay.
You know, they may get kicked out of a house every 2 weeks. You know?
Okay.
And they just moved to another one, which I thought was kind of interesting. That somebody would take him. My dad and his family.
Okay.
Alright.
I was thinking, why would they take you after they know you couldn't pay the rent down the street? But whatever.
Okay.
But his mother got to 8th grade in this would be, let's see, she was born in 1900, so she got to 8th grade in like what, 1914?
You got any calls?
8th grade's pretty good. So
That is very good.
so she thinks of herself as pretty educated, and you know she talks like black people do when they talk to white people. Hi, Ruthie, how are you? She put on her white voice, and you know she wanted her family to be more. So he converts to Catholicism so he can go to Xavier, and they will give him a scholarship.
Were they sharecroppers?
No.
Okay, so that's.
Oh,
we got to talk about that.
His cousins were sharecroppers. He tells a joke.
You are listening to What's in It for the Black People Radio live on WBGX 1570 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, plus Miss Ruthie Moore. You know I got to say what's up to Sonia Escobar, the musical conductor of the Soul Plane. Y'all, we're having a really good conversation here. I hope you all are enjoying us. If you are and you want to get a part of it, give us a call, 872-259-7474. You can also watch us on Facebook Live, the reality show. You can go to the Maze Jackson page, either my personal or my fan page, as well as you can get this on the TuneIn app, right? Download it on the TuneIn app and check us out. Todd wasn't dancing
because there should be a rule that Ruthie can't wear a black leather jacket.
Because Todd was dancing.
He's all over me today.
Right. Ruthie is feeling like, you know, like I wait for Ruthie to slap somebody.
I want my birthright, and I'm trying to figure out
where it is.
I'm trying to figure out if it was stolen or if
it was
somebody
given away.
gave it away.
I think it's a combination. I think that
there's something else. There's people trying to keep you from it. I mean, outside groups.
Okay. So there's the thing I think right now with the keeping you from it. I again think that black people right now are at a unique position where we need to stop. I I don't feel like I'm at Ruthie's stage where I could be outside. But I do feel like I want the same thing that those young people are not accepting to be the same way that our black elected officials are. Right? Like, our black elected officials should be like, man, we've been getting raped, robbed, and pillaged all this time. Let's kick some butt. Instead, they're kind of looking at us like we're Google-eyed, like we still crazy. Like, they're still... Like, here's my thing. We know that our birthright has either been stolen or given away. Now, to try and protect that position at this point, in my estimation, makes you an enemy of your people. Like, when you have the option to be free and to liberate, and you willfully choose to remain silent, like, again, nobody had the ability to say nothing about what's been going on because there was a penalty, a price you could pay. Right? Like, we saw it. They saw what happened to Ken Duncan. They saw what happened to Mays, right? They saw they could summarily ban you, blah, 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 blah. And so everybody sat around and was quiet. Like, to me right now, this is the time you make good. Like, this is, like, right now, everybody's in the salvation window. Right? Like, everybody was somewhere participate. I participated. Now, there was a moment when I had a wake up, and I think my conscience was in a different place, and my conscience wouldn't allow me not to speak. And if I would have kept my mouth shut, then I would have still been reaping the benefits and the rewards. I just couldn't keep my mouth shut. Some people can keep their mouth shut. Now, right now, this is that Ed Burke quote. What is it? It's not the such and such of my enemies, but the silence of my friends.
Right.
Right now, the silence of black elected officials in the face of all of this, from the shootings on the mass shooting on 79th, to the statues, to everything that is going on, is what, in my estimation, fuels the Ruthies of the world. And I'm not a Ruthie, and I'm using that generalization.
I'm with you, man.
But it fuels them because it's like, man, Joe, it's going down, and y'all are still trying to figure out a way to do the slick Bob move, which is, and now I'm going to fight for corporations and come with some hollow BS instead of going right at the problem. And I think we're so used to hemming and hawing and figuring out a way to get around the hard issue and to really attack the issue that it's like you're losing your voice. It's like you can't keep telling me it's like, here go one of my favorites. We know you can't sell us BS. We know the prices. The kids, we've been sold BS. We bought it. Somebody else was sold BS. We got a piece of it, and we bought it. And even as they were making what we bought a depreciating asset, they were still saying, 1 for you, 1 for me. 2 for you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for me. 3 for you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it's like everybody knew it happened, and nobody's talking about it. So like the reason I'm so frustrated with this Christopher Columbus thing is because it's like, Joe, it's like you're attacking this hollow target when the real live target is like, woo, who else can we throw out there? We gave you Stephen Douglas, now we giving you Christopher Columbus, and ain't nobody spoke on none of the green team nowhere. Let's go to the live line. This is the Mace Jackson Show. I just want to hear what y'all got to say. Talk to me. Who's on the line, Sonia? Katie, you're on the Mace Jackson Show. Hello? Hello? Okay, let's go to the next call. Don't hang up on them. If they can come back, we'll try and get them back. You are now on the Mace Jackson Show. Who we got, Sonia? Caller. Ho! Uh-oh. Here we go. Hold on. Hope, let me get your speaker right because you got to drop a bomb. Go ahead, Hope. We ready for the bomb.
No. I just want to bring the fact that there's one missing party at the table here over this Columbus statue. There may be 500, but let me put it this way. There are over 500 Native American tribal gaming casino enterprises in America. Last year, they pulled in over $50 billion. I don't see any of them at these Topple Columbus affairs. I don't even see any of them sponsoring any of that money to support any of this. Do they have social equity and it's not an issue anymore? That's my question. Thank you.
I told you Hope was going to drop a bomb. Now look, you know what? You know why the Native Americans ain't out there mad? Because they got the casinos. They said, you know what? Y'all can have all the symbolism. Fight. You want to fight over that? They told y'all fight over that. But what y'all gonna do is for the 20 of us that's left,
20.
Every one of us getting a casino. I'm just saying.
I didn't realize how many casinos there are.
And do you realize how many casinos and they're all controlled by the Native Americans?
No, Sonia's right. There's a ton of Native Americans who are nowhere even connected to casinos.
Wholeheartedly agree, but that's them doing it to their own people.
There is some of that.
No, it's all of that. Like I'm saying, here's my thing.
Well,
you can't own
remember, they're not all part of the same group.
And so again, if you got a $50 billion casino, you got a $1 billion casino on a reservation. Everybody in that place should be living well. That's all I'm gonna say. And if not, you're doing it to your people yourself. You pimping the whole process. That's what Jack Abramoff did. That's what your boy did. That's how he claimed up too. Let's go to the live line. Madam Presidente. Tamiko? All right. Y'all can't be having me with no dead air. Now either y'all gonna take me off hold. We got anybody else? All right, let's go to the live line. Caller. You're on the live line. Hello? Yep, that's you. Come on.
Yeah, this Antonio.
Hello, Antonio.
What I want to say is people misconstrue history. Our birthrights was stolen after the Civil War. You know, because the people who lost the war was they was integrated inside the Union, and they made the same laws that's putting us in slavery over and over again. When we supposed to have made fully American at first, and so now we got a racial wealth gap just because 0.3% of us is doing well. 50% of us is worth less than $1. They talking about black people together. We got $1.2 trillion. But white people together got $99.7 trillion. So what does that do for us?
Right. I'm with you.
I say make your $1 trillion work for you. Cause come on, Maze, if you had $20, you're gonna make that work for you.
I mean, if I got $2, I'm like a whale. I mean, you anywhere there's water, I'm gonna swim. Right? You put me in ice.
I wasn't expecting such a poetic, but that's what I thought out of you.
Man, I'm gonna tell you. But again, I have a skill set. I have a tool set. Right. It's like you tell me to build a house, I think I've got some of the tools in my toolbox to do it. But if you ain't even got a toolbox, bro, you ain't building nothing. Let's go to the live line. Who we got? Patrick! Hello, Patrick.
What's going on, Maze, Todd, and Ruthie? How you guys doing this morning?
Good.
Good. Hey, you know what's missing in all of this? Why everybody is at Grand Park climbing up statues, trying to put us down and be shooting each other up on 79th Street right there. What's missing is, and I say in the 18th Ward, man, is a lot of Mexicans are saturating the black community, man. They are moving in droves. And the way I see it is that they're going to change the landscape of the south side of Chicago, man. I mean, I think they got mixed up but they got lost in the mix, man. And ain't nobody really paying attention of how the actual neighborhoods are changing, man. I think we're going to look up and we're going to be real. I don't think nobody's even hit on that.
I think you're onto something. I think that's actually happening. And I think you see it in all the places where as the property taxes and all these things start happening in the fringe communities that white folks wouldn't live in. And I almost feel like the Latinos are the forebearers of white folks, right? So the Latinos are like, man, they come in, they fix up, they got the tool set. So they'll move into a bad house, fix it up, make it marketable, sell it, and then get profit. Or take a house in Inglewood that we can't even do nothing with, that's 20 bedrooms, move everybody in, own it, and then take over your neighborhood. and not take over your neighborhood, but at the same time when these property taxes, because again, they starting fresh. They just got put out of Little Village. A lot of the Little Village stuff, they got foreclosed because they was buying houses for $300,000, $400,000.
You mean Pilsen?
No, in Little Village.
Both.
And then they started coming to Inglewood, right? Because they like, man, look at y'all walking away from Inglewood with these multi-million-dollar mansions, etc. We could fix these bad boys up and bring everybody there. Again,
well, you're right. I mean, that means that there's a mindset. There's a different mindset. When
but there's also hold on. There's also incentive.
When my grandmother, no, not my grandmother. My grandfather's family had a place on 41st.
Mm-hmm.
They had 3 floors. The whole place was full of family.
Okay, right, and and I agree with that. Here's what I'm suggesting, y'all. There's an overlay for an underplay, and I think while we think we're winning, we're really not.
I don't think we.
It's
I think we're winning.
I think no. I think the best tools we got in the toolbox, and all of our bullets are being expended. Like I feel like we're gonna have blanks left. Like, I think, again, we are celebrating Pyrrhic victory. So when you think about a block club party in the front of the mayor's office, who we all now know is punkable. Right? Like, I mean, I'm saying.
But I don't think most of us are celebrating this Columbus thing.
I'm talking, okay, so let's not say most of us. Let's say all the kids in the streets. Let's say all the people the hundreds of people that are making it their priority and their issue. I think they are celebrating an empty victory. Nothing fundamentally changes with the legislation, and the people keep on trying to move. All I'm saying is, what I used to say was, march them out. March them out. Let them march all day long. March them to the beach. March them to the whatever. Make them keep walking. Tire them out till they just can't do it no more. And then and that's what the speaker used to do. He would tire you out, he'd drag out session till 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, and Todd's look at his face because he knows what I'm talking about. You tire out your opposition, and then they get to a point where they're like, we'll just take anything. And then they take the victory, take a hollow victory as a symbolic victory as the win, and they be like, we got out of here. And the reality is, for them, if them 1,000 people that was in front of the mayor's office was in front of 71st and Pulaski, I'm telling you now, he'll have every black legislator on the phone talking about, what do I have to do? Hey, y'all. I got a caller. There's somebody on the line. Who's on the line?
Hello?
Anonymous, you're on the Major.
Yeah, Eddie.
Hey.
Hey, what's up? It's Eddie, dog. What's up?
What's up, man? What up, Eddie?
Hello?
Come on, man.
Hey, I'm Phil. What
good.
up?
Talk to us.
I feel, in real talk, man, our problem today is not the white man. It's the black man. It's the Negroes that we have in places who are supposed to be doing our bidding and pushing our agendas forward, but they choose not to for their own personal gain.
That's
because,
what Ruthie was saying. Symbolic.
Ruthie made a point, huh?
Right, symbolic.
What'd you say?
Symbolic leadership, but no real outcomes, and that's why Ruthie and these young people are like, bust y'all.
Exactly, but I don't feel it's because they're tired. I think it's because they got there. They're like them 2 brothers on the couch with the K-Tail record. Oh no, my brother, you got to get your own. He wouldn't help the other brother get. He wouldn't help the other brother get some. He had to go down the store. By the time he went and bought his album, the lady's gone.
Player hating.
You got that album right here. Why can't I get it?
Straight player hating.
But that's the problem. But I will say one thing. When she said it's a different crop of Negroes, I feel that, first of all, if the white folks weren't involved, it would be a whole different ball game for black folks. We'd be gunned down.
That's my point.
It's a different crop of. Yes, but see, the problem is millennials, with all due respect, I don't think they really care about history, and they don't have a point of reference in history. Because you can say what you want to say, but things are better for black people today than they were when she was talking about the statues in the 1930s. Because in the 30s, you had white folks burning crosses on your lawn, setting your house on fire, and when you ran out, they would shoot you. They would cut your genitals off while you were hanging from a tree and have a picnic. That ain't happening today. I don't care what y'all say. That's not going down today. And that's because you got a different crop of white folks who
they ain't as cold-blooded as their ancestors. So it's just a different day all the way around. But if this was back in the day, we'd be hanging from trees. Ain't no brothers really hanging from trees, getting their genitals cut off, and white families taking pictures of it. That's not happening today.
I agree with you on that, Eddie. I would say, and this is the thing that I do agree with on that too. I think if there were not, if them wasn't white people's kids out there, don't nobody feel. I mean, remember Laquan McDonald got shot 16 times? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
How much white outrage did you see over that? How many white kids from Lincoln Park were out there pushing? Right now, but there was also a concerted effort not to let the downtown go up. Here's my premise. Right now, if all this destruction was happening and it was just purely black kids, and that was part of the reason that we went down on Black Friday, was because we were like, as parents, man, those are our kids, and they was hot. And to your point, Ruthie, I think what we said was we don't want to see our kids, because there wasn't no white people going. And what we did not want to see was a bloodbath of our children, because they would have unleashed the stormtroopers on black kids. I don't believe that I believe that the restraint that was held in regards to what happened in Columbus Park was because those people were white. I do. I think you saw it when they saw Miracle. Like, all the stuff the white people was doing. The person with their mouth busted was the black woman. I know white folks sent money afterwards, but they asked her to come down there. They got her involved, and man, did we see any videos of white people with their mouth busted? Did we see any videos of again, and quite frankly, I'll be honest with you, watching how she was snapping, I probably was like, man, I'm not surprised that she got it. Now, that's not because I think she deserves it per se, but I know that in my mind as a black man, it's only so much that a white cop is going to take from a black person before they feel like their white privilege just takes over. Mm. Now, we did not see any videos of any white people, all that assault, no teeth slapped out of nobody else's mouth. Right? Nobody. The only video we saw coming out of that of somebody assaulted or hurt was a black person. And the cops. So, I think, Ruthie, from my standpoint, and I see that as my child. Right? Like, now, that's not how I would ask my child to condone themselves, but that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother story. But I would want my children to be a part of the protest, but I would also say to my children, if you feel you need to understand that it's going to be different for you. Mm. And even under assault, even when the police they have a different level of restraint when it comes to dealing with their own and dealing with our children. And so if I'm going to see somebody lose some teeth, if I'm going to see somebody lose something, I want to make sure that they do it for their benefit, for the ultimate benefit. I cannot celebrate Pyrrhic victories. I'm not saying that we have not torn down a symbol of racism, but the living, acting, breathing, living organ of racism that has oppressed black people is the Democratic Party of Illinois and Cook County. Now, we've had our own parts in that, but they feed the violence by starving our community. All the black elected officials we got. We got calls? Let's go to the live line, because it is also Tell Me Something Good Friday, but I'm going to take your calls. Who we got?
Madam President, are you there this time?
Yes, I'm here.
Come on.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can. Let's go.
Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing this morning?
Good morning.
Hey, listen, Ruthie is correct. Now, I hear all the dancing around her question, the answer to her question. Like, yeah, we got all these elected officials. Like, what did we get? What do we get? I'm like Ruthie. I don't need a me answer. I need a we answer. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, let me give y'all a little story. Tiger came. Tiger and I was together last night. Tiger Lily, and she was so excited because they had passed some funding. And in the funding, the narrative was about black people being disenfranchised. They were actually saying black. She was so excited about that $18.5 million funded social service program. The problem was with that is, and Tiger was kind of disenchanted when I kind of started saying, okay.
Because you be busting people's bubbles all the time. That's because you be busting people's bubbles all the time.
I'm saying though, and we got to talking about the statue. They was at the statue, Tiger and was going down there. I was like, tell them to take their butt over there, you know, to Michael Madigan's house, or you know what I'm saying, to his office. Then they talk about them contracts. Symbolism has gotten us, that behavior, that mindset has gotten us a lot of what we got going on today. Symbolism, I don't care what color you are. What are you doing? What are you putting in our pockets? What are you knocking in? What are you doing? That's pretty much something.
You start seeing once you start talking about them people, then the whole thing be Madam President, hey. We gotta come back to you. Put it on hold. Alright, who else we got? We got another calls? Alright, we're gonna go to the live line. Now y'all gonna make me mess up, tell me something good Friday. Y'all gonna tell me something good before it's over, cause we ain't gonna leave up out here mad. And I'm not even mad. Y'all, I am, it's like I love us, right? Like I truly love us. And remember how I told you I learned the dark arts in politics? And I don't know if I told you, and you laugh. But I just laughed because you called it the dark arts. It is the dark arts.
I didn't think you knew anything about Harry Potter.
I don't, but I know about the wizard and the magic and all how Todd talked about knowing how the sausage made. And I think about this movement the same way I think about cannabis. Right? I think about all of us celebrating and jumping up and down and the social equity and all of that and all of the promises that we were made, and then $50 million a month later we got nothing. Right now, that Christopher Columbus statue to me is cannabis in Illinois. Right? It's like, and it allows for black and white people, elected officials, who have been distracting or sending us off to give us another social equity win with no tangible economic results, which then feeds the same poverty that causes the shooting. I'm not even blaming the kids. Okay, so I have a whole mentality as to what happened with them people getting shot, and I think that there's a way. But I'm gonna play y'all game. I'm gonna play y'all game. I'm gonna say that poverty feeds it. Right? Disinvestment in the community feeds it. Who disinvested in our community? Who voted to disinvest in our community? How many times have people taken a vote and told us that this vote is good for us, that this is the win? And again, I always say, if the white people are telling us this is the win, then we got to be very careful. Now, there's a lot of news cameras. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of attention. Remember when Mike Madigan said, hey, I'm going to give y'all the, he proactively gave y'all the Stephen Douglas painting? And everybody was like, nobody want to hear that shit. Right? Remember how we was like, we dissected that and we realized that was, so while you got, and again, remember Stephen Douglas was the pro-slave guy and he presided over the Democrats while the Republicans had Abraham Lincoln. And then we all pretended like Mike Madigan didn't know who Stephen Douglas was, even though, you know, he's the smartest man in the whole entire state, right?
Well, I don't think he's the smartest man. I think I'm smarter than him, but okay. That's another story. For another time.
Okay. Look. And remember how we was all like, for real? Like, you think that's enough? And then remember how then immediately he had to get some other people to jump on it because it was like, dog, we know you the racist. How the racist gonna take down the racist? Right? Remember how we knew all that? We're doing it again. Now, I love y'all, so I can't clap for BS. You can't sell me BS because I do know the prices because I practiced the dark arts. And the dark art tells me to give them a distraction. Remember when we were reading the Mike McLean stuff before and they asked, they said, what are we going to do about this? It was right after Laquan McDonald. And they said, what are we going to do about this criminal justice reform? Because we got all these people. And they said, give it all to one legislator and we're going to create a bill that does pretty much nothing. But everybody will feel like they won. It's a process. And it's like they teach that process to us. Remember Barack Obama? Remember Grant Park? How what do you call it? Ironic? Remember being in Grant Park crying?
It was a sea of hope.
Remember? And we was like, we won?
It was change.
How much did you get out of it? You got gay marriage. You got Amazing Grace at the murder of the Emmanuel 9. What did you get? Let's go to the live lines. I'm trying to keep y'all up because I still gotta tell me something good Friday. Okay, let's go to the live line. What you got, Sonia? Caller. Hey, caller.
Hey.
We got you.
Long time. All that. In the evening on the same station. Unfortunately, it's no longer on the air because of the death of the host. I'll leave
respect. Oh no, I think we can all show respect to Harold Davis and the Butt Naked Truth.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, we all got much respect for Harold Davis.
And many times, I call in, and it's disheartening. Let me digress. I'm trying to get this done fast. I know you got a lot of things going. If you take your hands, you have 10 fingers on. If you take any one of those fingers and capture it and make it and mobilize it to where it can't move, the entire hand is rendered ineffective. Right?
It's a little bit hard to work with.
It's ineffective because you can't move it no further than that one finger is going to allow you to move it.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And our condition is that we are being attacked on so many levels that they may release a finger only to grab a thumb. Or they may release a thumb only to grab a pinky or index finger. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless we can simultaneously, uniformly, go after all of these things that attack us and affect us, we're going to be fighting an up and down, an ebb and flow battle. It's going to be, we're going to make a gain here, we're going to be back here, we're going to make a gain. Mass attack, all of these issues that affect us as race people at the same time. So what does that mean? Everybody with expertise in that area needs to concentrate on focusing on that area. The problem is that it's like being in a burning house, and you got a whole bunch of family members in the house. You got different groups of family members, different types of family members in the house. The house is burning. You got some members in the house that don't even know the house is on fire. You got some members in the house that realize the house is on fire and doing everything they can to fight and put out the fire. You got some members of the house that's putting more fuel on the fire than turning it back saying, oh, well, it's burning over here, it's burning over here. But at the same time, there's a door out that there's no fire around. That those who understand that's the way out stand in front of to keep the rest of the occupants from going out. So we're in a burning house. First of all, we need to get rid of those who are blocking the exit way out and putting more fuel on the fire. Most of them been in office for several decades and probably need to be retired. Another show, another statement, another story. Many of those that are Many of those that are in the house don't know the house is even on fire, need to be woken to the back to brother. You burned it. And those that are fighting the fire need to have the help from those others who realize they need help to put the fire out.
I mean, man, that's a great call. I mean, I think that's a great call. I think that's some great points. I think we try to say that. Like, that's why, you know, we got to get Todd to keep on watching his K-pop movies so he can be our Korean analyst. All right, let's go to the live line. Caller. You're on the Maze Jackson Show. Caller, we can hear you.
Hello.
Yep, that's you. Come on.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Maze, how you doing? Maze, Todd, Ruthie, and Sonia, guys, how you guys doing this morning?
Great.
Hey, this is Opal. I just had to call. You guys, I mean, you all are really getting it. I mean, you guys is really giving it to us this one. You really addressing some real issues and the problems in the black community and black America, actually, and what we're dealing with that we need to address, we need to talk about. But I want to be kind of quick here and get right to the point. But I want to address the two topic questions here from you, Maze. When you said about voting, does voting really work? Is it working for black people? And also, Ruthie made a very great question here and topic she raised about have our birthrights been, have we lost our birthright? Yes, and I want to address both of these questions at the same time. Maze, I have to say this, and I'm going to be truthful and honest and real. And I know some, we got certain people that may not, understand where I'm coming from. Maybe some people may, but I have to speak and say truth right here. And I'm gonna, and I feel this is the right time to say it about voting. Does voting work for black people? Absolutely, it does not work for black people. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of effort. From 1965, and this is 2020. What is the result? What have we gotten? We were third-class citizens. We at the bottom of the barrel, the bottom of the boat, the bottom of the ocean. We constantly keep voting and going through the motions and looking at voting as our salvation, that we're going to get rights, we're going to get results, we're going to get things from public policies that's not going to never happen for us. As black people, if we're not going to send a check with that ballot, we can just shut the door on that and forget about that. If we're not going to back up our candidates, in whatever elections with money, because voting is about money. It ain't about that we're just going to vote for someone and then we're going to get what we're going to get. That's not how voting works. Voting works is quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. It's just about what you do for me and I do for you. So, like everybody else, our votes are suppressed. Whether we don't vote or not, it's not going to be that we're suppressing our vote. If we don't vote, our votes is already suppressed through immigration. Through the immigration of Mexicans in this country, they have suppressed the vote, and all the immigrants of the Asians and Arabs and everyone else, they have buried us as black people. Well, our vote doesn't mean anything. We don't have no leverage in our vote.
Thank you, caller. I agree to an extent. Can I tell you something? Think about this, though. Think about how much attention the immigrants get without the right to vote. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like, so vote. This is what you're telling me. Black people, vote. Every single time I hear somebody talk about voting, the next thing out their mouth, talk about the census. I will not let anyone offend our undocumented immigrant class. They are our hardest working citizens. Vote. I mean, I'm just saying. Like, and I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote. But I'm telling you now, it's really hard for black elected officials to tangibly tell us why we should vote. beyond their own self-interest of being reelected.
Well, no, I would say there are some things that they would probably point to.
The safety net?
No, but
they can't now. That got busted.
But I would say that they are missing the bigger picture. So they probably talk about things like city services.
No, they would say Donald Trump. We stopped Donald Trump.
No. That's your ballywick. You keep that. They talk about city services and stuff like that, but there's a bigger picture that makes your community strong.
I always feel like I'm not voting for somebody. I'm voting against somebody else.
That's how they teach black people.
That's how I always feel.
You vote.
That's in the big election. In the local elections, you generally don't do that.
You don't get a choice. They make sure that you don't. They make sure, and Todd's laughing, but
I can tell you in the 8th Ward, there's always a choice. There's always probably at least 3 candidates, maybe 4. Now, I won't say that all of them know anything about the job, but
when you look at them exit polls, you see how many the winner got versus the challenger, and you're like, dang.
That's because the challenger had nothing to say.
No, here's what happens.
I'll tell you what happens in our ward. I can't speak on others. In our ward and in the 21st ward, the challenger, the only thing they can say is, I'm not that guy.
Right, and I think, here's what I think. I think what the problem is very shortly we're going to get to the point where that's going to be a good enough argument. Right? It's like, I'm not that guy, and when that guy says, well, why should you be that? That's a good thing. Because that guy has nothing to prove, then that's going to become an effective strategy, and I feel like that's what we're rapidly getting to.
Yeah, but I think this is dang, I forgot what they call it.
Stop hanging out with my cousin, man.
But people appear to think that the way to change the system is to not be part of the system.
No,
that doesn't work. The only thing that happens is the system is even more on your neck.
No, I think the goal is to dismantle the system.
That's Ruthie's goal. No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't got enough time.
I don't think there's enough black people who have that goal, to be honest with you.
That's why the white people are doing it. That's why the white people.
No, the white people want to dismantle it for the same reason that
they want to reconstruct it so they can be in charge of it.
Yeah, that's exactly
They want to rebuild it, and they still gonna figure out
and let me tell you, I don't think their issues are going to be our issues.
They're not, and it's like, but again, here's the thing. Their actions are closer to the actions that our...
And they won't win either.
Here's the thing. It'll be a war of attrition, and over time, they win just like...
you could be right, but by that time I'll be dead. So.
And again, I'm not going to say that at this point that we could not have a violent revolution.
You never know what violence... we're a violent country.
What happened to the concept of us like planting those seeds and trees so that they can feel the shade later? Like, what happened to that? Why is it that...
Because black people wait, so here's the thing. Because the issue is the way Mike Madigan and the part... And I'm being a jerk right now. But the way the system is set up, young white kids get their shot at 35. They start to get fully into being a family, buying a home, doing all that, and reaping the benefits of their political relationships at 30.
Quote unquote rites of passage.
Ours don't begin until 50 or 60. So, what winds up happening is the 50 or 60-year-old is just now starting to feel the goodness. And now they like, man, we didn't build an infrastructure. We didn't build a path out. So now it's like, I gotta stay here because, why is Bobby Rush relevant if he's not the congressman? Right? And because there's not a black-owned university or a black place or a black multi-billion-dollar company that could benefit from having a former U.S. congressman as their chief governmental affairs officer, He then goes on and becomes a multi-millionaire because he built black energy companies that now leverage him to be their lobbyist. And then he built his mentee, or whatever the heck you call it. And now they have a relationship, and the mentee still has his advice to rely on, as well as he's getting wealthy because he can go everywhere. Man, you taking his $200,000 salary away now. We don't have a plan B. Like if you are a politician, your plan is to either die as a politician. Remember, our royalty is political or preacher. So you're either going to die as a politician, or you're going to try to figure out how to get rich in your position so that you can leave. And because you don't have all of our property taxes as your piggy bank, you get busted on little petty stuff like getting my home repairs to your house, while dude takes $250 million and builds a new house in Palm Springs and does it legally and legislates it. And even though we know it's wrong, and what happens is everybody else is looking at that model saying, dang, they got rich. They got rich. Hey, Negro, you not them. And they want to catch you up on the $10,000 deal. They want to catch you up on the social equity program. They want to catch you up on the Christopher Columbus statue so that they can get paid. Think about this. When the Christopher Columbus statue came down, a green team company got the contract to take it down. Now, if y'all was badass to me, you want to be badass? You want some justice? You want some equity? When you take the sign, when you take it down, where's the black company that took it down if we so happy? Right? Like they profit coming and going. We wasn't even slick enough to be like, oh yeah, let's have our demolition company do that.
Well, let me tell you something, Maze. You were the person that kind of opened up my eyes to the contracts and how people utilize government to enrich themselves. That's not how civics is taught. That's the game that nobody gives you. I had no idea the way that these contracts were being legislated and used. Yes. Maze, I had no idea. So I don't think that the average person really understands the way that Illinois politics is a racket.
That's not Illinois. It's the nation. It's probably the world. I just don't know.
But perfected here.
They perfected it here, and it's like, here's the thing. And it's like,
this ain't the only thing.
This
is where you live. That's why you.
And that's why I care.
Come on.
Because I don't care about the. I don't care about the nation.
General Electric.
I don't care about the nation.
They're all getting rich like that. But they get really rich. I mean, like big numbers, like you know.
And this is how
the CEO gets half of.
This is how we get it. This is how we get it every time, right? Because it's like, again, squirrel. We could laser focus.
All politics is local in the end. Maze want to talk about MAGA. I don't want to talk about MAGA. I don't care about MAGA no more. I care about us. Forget Madigan. And you know how we become Madigans? It's we actually work together. You always ask me, what do we get? What do we get? We got a lot of people who want to fight each other. We got the young people. Young people are always going to have a lot of energy and want to see change. That's the way life is. That's fine. But I agree with Maze. Because
tell me something good.
Because we don't have avenues to go to, people stay in jobs longer than they actually need to, and the people who thought they were going to be the successors, they tend to, after a while, they're like, shoot, I'm moving on to something else.
Exactly. and where's the avenue though? Right? Who creates our avenues? I don't live in Texas. I don't live in New York. I live right here. And what we talk about, I gotta focus on my block. So I want to focus on my block. And when I think about all the people and all of those paths, where do they lead to? And I'm going to suggest that the systemic racism in the state of Illinois has been legislated. I'm gonna move on because it is Tell Me Something Good Friday.
I say this all the time. I don't think I've said this in front of you. If you want to see black people do well, you elect a black mayor from the south or the west side.
Mm.
I mean, you can elect Tony Perkins from Hyde Park or Lori Lightfoot from wherever she lives, but don't think that's going to change anything in your neighborhood.
I can agree with that, but I think, again, if I keep you poor, broke, and lonely, you keep on fielding candidates that can't play the game. And it's like, yeah, it's the chicken or the egg, but the fact of the matter is that it was all been put in a place to maintain the power structure. And guess who ain't?
Self-fulfilling prophecy. That's what I was trying to think of 20 minutes ago.
and just like we began the show, we'll end it with Todd with outbursts. Look, it's Tell Me Something Good Friday. We got a couple calls. Let's go see what y'all got for me. What you got, Sonia?
I think this is Madam President.
Come on, you gotta do it quick.
Again.
Come on, quick.
We gotta start saying economic lynching, because that's what's happening. Every time a young black boy get killed by another young black boy, I was like, damn, that's for another lynching. Economic lynching is the new term. Stop saying starving. We're beyond starving. They're lynching us again.
There it is.
Okay.
Economic lynching. That's something good. That's good terminology. I'm gonna tell you this. So tell me something good. I think we're a few steps closer to cracking this nut of institutional racism. Again, I think we got to use these moments, and what I've learned this month or this week is that we don't have to accept it. Maybe we should not. I don't know if anybody convinced me of the true value of voting. I don't know if I heard a real answer, right? Like beyond, again, the fluff. And the other thing,
you know how our friend is successful? My dad was successful. But do you think that the greater elected officials were like, yeah, come on, John, go, get this going? No. Same thing like with our friend. The greater elected officials, when I say that, I mean the black ones, they're not rooting on and trying to say, how can we make this bigger? It's crazy.
I think, and that's part of the problem. And while we, again, continue to give them our power, right, we keep making excuses for a dysfunctional system, a dysfunctional family. And it's like, how many times are you going to get molested before you say, I've decided that I do not want
I think you have said the problem. The problem is not truly the elected officials itself. I mean, they are a part of the problem, but they're more like...
They've been educated by the enemy.
Well, it's just like having a fever. The problem is down at the lower level where the family itself isn't pushing to make sure that Uncle Bob is not screwing around with one of the kids or something. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't. No, I don't. And here's
then your family must be too small. But there's always somebody dysfunctional in your family, and it's the rest of the family's job to make sure that they don't do anything crazy.
Okay, so
especially to the rest of the family.
That's really a scary story, and I'm gonna let that one be. But this is what I'm gonna say.
One of your favorite entertainers, Eddie Murphy, told that same story. And I bet you laughed.
I didn't. No, I didn't. And Chris Rock told it too. I'm just gonna suggest this, guys. And we did not tell me something good, and I'm gonna tell you something good.
We got the stage
Come on,
moves down.
I got something good.
Go ahead, real quick.
All right, I got something good. I'm taking it from Source and Social. I think that the conversation needs to be around reparations.
I think Salim is right as well. He talks about that. Guys, I just think that we're a step closer to recognizing who our true enemies are. I just want y'all to recognize that while the Italians lost their Christopher Columbus statue, we got an end to symbolic racism. The Green Team got paid again for all of it.
I'm happy with Mays, but I'd say that you should know who your enemies are, but I think we also know our problems. We can't figure out who our friends are. We don't even know our friends in our own camp.
I think it'd be interesting to see if we actually have friends in our own camp, and how many of our friends are more loyal are loyal to us or loyal to the party.
Not loyal to us, ain't our friend.
Well, and that, my friend, is we should be able to see the outcomes of their loyalty to us, and we don't, which is why it may be time for a purge. Hey y'all, this has been the Maze Jackson Show. So for Todd, Stroger, my co-host, for Miss Ruth and Moore in her black Angela Davis.
Tomorrow. That's my good thing.
You gonna enjoy it because it's gonna be your last one for a while. For Miss Sonia Escobar, music conductor of the Soul Plane, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day what's in it for the black people, and if you don't like it, you can still tell them. May said, we out of here.
Peace. And you can tell them, May said, we want to know what's in it for the black people. AM 1570, WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
That we were moving along pretty well. I won't say 85, I'll say 87, because that's when Mayor Washington died. We were going on pretty well until Mayor Washington died. I take that back. We were actually doing pretty well when Mayor Sawyer was in there. I would say when Richard Daley won, the wheels just kind of fell off.
Yeah, watch Poli Sci. I think we go through that whole thing, and it was like then once they got it, they was like, we can't never, and that's why they changed the Democratic the nonpartisan election, because they was just like, we gotta lock it down. And then once they did that, they picked Negroes and started making them we stopped. Daley flipped it from us telling people, from them giving us black people, like when you read all the other history we sort of gave them, they adopted, like we picked our leader and then they worked with our leader until they decided they wanted to undercut him, right? And they would snatch all his patronage, etc. I just feel like we have been trained to give away our power. I think black people think there is some honor when Madigan calls you and says, come up my back steps.
Mr. Charlie's Ice integration.
And so, but it ain't even integration, because it's really like he calls you, like you want to be, the first thing anybody, if you want to be elected official, the first thing everybody black says, we got to take you to see Madigan. Maybe they'll tell you to see your committeeman first, but then the next thing they want to do is take you to see Madigan, where he sniffs you and basically decides where you're waiting for him to say yes or no, like in your damn community, which he ain't never coming to. Then once it does, then he decides, because if it is, then he's going to open up the doors to his polling, his machine, his key operation, right? All of this stuff, we empower the building of it by continuing to give him majorities. And then he then tells everybody, you can't give no, when reform happens, reform is everybody but him, right? So they let fucking reform happen. And the thing about this, black people voted to say, I can't raise my own money, I'll take my money from the speaker. He'll have to give me my money and I'll be happy with that.
That's why I can't stand when there's a big ethics push, because somewhere in that it'll diminish the backbenchers' power, and make whoever the leader of any of them, all four of those guys, more powerful.
So and here's the thing. So here's the thing. We all know that that's how it's gonna work. Every black legislator knows that's how it's gonna work. You can watch it and we know how this movie is gonna end. No matter what story we watch, we know what the ending of the movie is gonna be. We know it. And niggas be like, I'm down. And it's like, we want to say no. It's like, you're either going to have to kill your own, or you're going to have to kill the beast. Now, to me, the beast is wobbling. He is like the Black Knight right now.
Bleeding out.
Like, they done chopped off an arm, they done chopped off, but he maintains the fear, right? So this man hopping on one leg. Did you ever see History of the World? In the Black Knight, when they chopped his arm, I am going to kill you.
Monty Python and Holy Grail.
Holy Grail. So now
that's funny.
They done whacked him. Like, honestly, he is, I don't want to say he's castrated, but they could castrate him. All they have to do really is say, man, we want to clean up Illinois and we just tired of doing business this way. Like, the perception of it all, we got to maintain the public trust, etc. In the midst of all, I would be taking all of the uprisings, I would be taking all of that, and I'd be painting it as the old way of doing business is no longer. Mr. Speaker, your way of doing business is over. We appreciate you. Thank you. Can you announce your retirement after the match?
I think we're getting there because as more people start to realize, wow, this is my city, this is my state, I have a voice.
I think again, even when I say let's go over to 71st, if he can withstand the 71st,
Mm-hmm.
then he knows he can get back to Springfield and the black folks are going to keep him in power.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like you got to start banging every elected official, right? Like you got to start going to the legislators and putting the litmus test. Will you be voting for Madigan? Like for a speaker of the House. And it's 200 people in front of Marcus Evans' office.
I think it's a different question. My question is, who was the Black Caucus's candidate for speaker in the caucus?
Well, see, here's the challenge.
Somebody.
I asked
But
y'all
here's
that
the
a couple
thing.
weeks ago.
Here's the
you
thing.
don't have to actually win because, sometimes you win, but you got to be in the game.
So I feel like the speaker, though, is so slick, he'll put the black candidate in the race. Like, I think
It'll be his candidate.
No, it'll be right. I think that, I think you got to look at where he placed the people in committees. So who do you think will be the most important factor in picking the speaker outside of the members? Labor. Right?
Yeah, right.
So now, that says to me, who has the relationship with labor? Didn't he make Marcus the chairman of labor?
Marcus chairman of labor, yeah.
So again, he makes Marcus chairman of labor. So now labor, who has been working with him over all this time, then starts to put their weight behind him, right?
But
now,
no, they're going to ask Madigan.
But if I'm
Should
Madigan,
we put our weight behind him?
but again, if they say and he says yes, now he's got a black candidate in the race. We know Marcus ain't leaving the speaker, right? He will go down till he dies, and he will tell you that, right? He gonna be like, I'm never backing off of. Now he might not say it now.
Well, if he became the speaker, that changes his whole life, though.
Yeah, I mean, I get you, but again, it changes his whole life for whose betterment.
No. I don't mean that way. I mean in the sense that when you're fooling around and you're running around in the forest and you're just a knight, things are cool. But once you become the king, all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, I'm the king.
Yeah,
and nobody can tell me nothing.
Well, I mean, but I think if your mentality was, so I don't know if you elect the speaker, we don't need another like I don't want our candidate to be conciliatory. Right? Like, so here's my thing.
Well, you know my theory also is the next person will not be Mike Madigan. He will not be as heavy-handed because the group won't want that. That's my guess.
I get you. I guess, but again, if I know that the speaker has his own candidate, and I think that right now everybody thinks that there should be a black, like the presumption is that there's going to be a black speaker, right? Like,
oh really?
No, because white folks feel like,
because from what I've heard, and I've only talked to two people, they think Greg Harris is literally like in the driver's seat at this moment.
And I think that is once again niggas giving up their power. Greg Harris is one gay dude. You got 18
I'm not quite
black,
sure how you meant that, but that's true.
One gay dude and you got 18 black caucus members, and these niggas already talking about giving up the power to the one gay dude. Think about that. Think about that. So I don't want.
When you say that, do you mean there's no more gay legislators?
Two. Kelly Cassidy open.
Oh right.
But one gay dude with the gun can hold up 18 black. That's and so if that whoever said that, and if any of them was black and they said that, that's our problem. We got the largest caucus inside of the Democratic caucus. The
outside needs to beat the drum about this.
No, I mean, but the outside beats the drum, and then they get mad at the outside because they like, y'all called us niggas, y'all called us slaves.
Maze, as you well know, people been mad at me all the time.
Yeah, I mean, and look how it's worked out for you.
I thought Ruthie was gonna jump across the table.
She was gonna.
But that's all right because I was like, Maze will get her off me eventually.
I come in peace.
No, but I mean, I love the fact that you don't back down. But here's my thing. So we got the largest caucus, the biggest numbers. You got if
the tail's wagging the dog.
If any nigga said with those numbers that the person in the control seat is Greg Harris, they need to.
Yeah, they're not even looking at themselves.
They don't even see themselves as whole as a 18. There ain't nobody who could put the Black Caucus and the Republicans could elect the speaker.
They could.
And black people are talking about Greg Harris is in the control seat. Like, so that's our problem. Like, so even when we have a position to seize power, it's always going to be somebody that says, well, do we really want this that bad? Right? Or, so like, again, I keep saying, the speaker is nobody is telling us no positive stories about the speaker. Nobody. So when you vilify him, and then there's somebody that comes to his defense, he be like, I still got it. Instead of people being like, yeah, why do I care about him? Like, you don't even gotta support him, but you could be like, why do I care? Like I have no vested interest in your success. Like I always say, my enemies or people I don't care about, if I love you, I'll do anything for you. If I like you, I'll do pretty much anything for you. If you are my enemy or somebody that's caused me harm, you could be in fire in the middle of the street and I will not piss on you to put it out. And I'm saying, we got niggas running up with buckets. Like, what you trying to say to mother? Why are you trying to say, but they'll laugh at Steven on Django?
Not just running up with buckets, but going to take the water from us.
Right.
So that's the difference.
Niggas, give me your water. Nigga, you drinking that glass of water? You can't save them with this glass of water. I don't care.
You got corona, you on a respirator, give me your IV bag.
And I think right now what you got is black folks trying to prove their loyalty in this. Right? Like,
do we need to reshape what it means to be a black political candidate or a black elected official?
I think here's what happens. We have to have an indoctrination system that prepares them for what they will face as a freedom fighter. You know who I think has the best opportunity, who is doing that the best?
Ding, 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 Maze.
Jeanette Taylor. Now, SEIU did it, right? And those socialists, they have come to recognize that they're not going to be friends, but they've come to make their change. Okay. Right? And they like, man.
I'm sorry. When you say they recognize that they're not going to be friends, what do you mean?
Like, they're not, like, Carlos Rosa Ramirez is not worried about what the mayor thinks.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
right. When they take that, they ain't worried about getting along. They like, man, I don't care if you don't like me. I have absolutely no concern about what you trying to do to me later. I don't care about no map. They ain't got none of them concerns. They like, I'm with my people.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing actually to see those cats.
Exactly, but it ain't ours.
Well,
so now you got Carlos Ramirez Rosa talking about black issues. You got Ray Lopez. Think about this. Ray Lopez is pushing a 33 program, and he ain't got no black votes on it.
I haven't heard.
It got introduced on Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
So think about that. And the people that recognize the value of stepping up for black people are everybody else. That's why Bill de Blasio won in New York against a black candidate. Because they like, man, what's starting to happen is you elect a black candidate and they can easily ignore you. A white candidate needs you because you're part of his constituency. He can't guarantee your vote.
Right.
So now, do I elect a black elected official or do I take the white boy that comes in? And that's why you see, that's why in the 18th ward, they spent $19 million, Barack Obama and everything, trying to get Tom Murphy out. And then and as soon as they did it, the black folks voted him right back in. Right back in. Because Tom Murphy was like, man, I am the outsider. At any moment, these people could turn on me. So I have to deliver for them.
When you talk about...
Think about Mary Flowers. She don't even open her fucking office.
Indoctrination. Who is the one... Who would be able to do the indoctrination?
Like, us. We'd have to have a... So when I keep saying I'm going to have a class, the point is to do a 2-year class to build towards running for office. Right? We make you do everything, and if you fall off, you fall off. But it's like a 2-year boot camp. counting down towards the mayor's race, right? And then having a slate of candidates that can run for alderman, that can run for state rep, that can run for state senator. You build them over to all of it. You use local school council as a training ground, right? You build, everybody builds a campaign to get on. Now with that local school council, they got a way to say they've been active in the community, right? They understand budgets. They start to meet people, etc. Right? In that 2-year boot camp, it builds towards, then you got an army of people plus the people that didn't make it but are volunteers, and then you put those people in wards and you say, we're going to win. Now, you got to give them more than one. You got to have like 2 to go to Springfield and 2 to be in the place. So that even when they like, fuck you, you got somebody to kick it with and have dinner with. The thing in Springfield is they put you on an island. Right? So you down in Springfield, 300 miles away from home. Everybody else is going to eat, drink, ha ha ha, and your ass goes by yourself. Eventually, somebody says, you want to go to dinner? Man, I've been eating dinner by myself because I'm staying at the Motel 6, blah, blah, blah. Then you be like, oh, damn, I've been eating fucking wings all week. This steak is good. Then, lobbyists, then you start to get sucked into the thing. Because again, what you doing at night at 5 o'clock once it's all over? And you can't go home for 3 days. So now you got to have a partner down there that y'all know that, man, we got to stick through this together. It's like Mary Flowers and Monique Davis, as they got older, they were each other's companion.
I don't even think they liked each other that much.
But they became each other's companion.
They did.
Because all of the young people was like, ain't nobody hearing that bullshit you talking. They used to want to wag their finger and tell everybody, and you couldn't beat them in their district, but they had no respect of their peers. And then Mary, because she always disrespected everybody, no one would vote her in the leadership. So then she just was like, fuck the Black Caucus. But now it's because all attention is she got a candidate, then she wanted to run back to the Black Caucus.
Somebody to run against her.
Right.
On a platform of, you ain't been doing nothing all this time.
Yeah, and it's like, if you drive by Mary Flowers' office, there was a time I used to go by her office every day and take a picture of it being closed. So I could be like, this is your service. If I would have ran when I lived in 18, then I would have had a run. But again, they're not going to let anybody with a running start run against her, and then you ain't got the money to get the message. That's why you build a boot camp, you start raising money. You need at least $100,000 to run.
For alderman?
Fuck yeah. And that's low end. Because the second you challenge somebody, then all the rich people are going to give them money to do mail, to do everything else they need. What you need, you need about $100,000 and 10 people that are dedicated to working with you every single day. Now you do that, you'll beat most aldermen because they ain't walking, they ain't knocking, they ain't talking, they don't really work in their areas. They count on their core constituency. Now if you can, and they know who their voters are, but again, if you're winning a ward with 7,000 votes or 10,000 votes and there's 50,000 votes to get, the challenge is you don't have the data, right? Because Madigan keeps all the data. So he let you go out and knock on doors, but then you got to give it all back. So now and people give it up because they concerned about somebody having the tools to work against them. Or they just don't even know how to say no. It's just what the speaker wants is just a given. A nigga can come to you and say the speaker said, and guess what? And that's what I'm going to tell you, in a lot of companies, in a lot of cases, all these people that had his ear, once you know that you got the speaker, people know you associated, you could just say the speaker said, and guess what? People just give you shit. Think about our black elected officials got 21 and 22-year-olds telling them how to vote.
I remember one of the mayor's lobbyists, I forgot his name now, dang, I think it was Sean. And he's on the golf course with somebody. It wasn't me, but they told me.
Sean, which mayor? Ron?
Daly.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I wasn't around with Ron. And he says, he says, when you hear me speak, you should think you're hearing the mayor speak. He just kind of made that declaration to everybody. But like Maze was saying.
You sure that's Sean or was it Lance?
No, it was Sean.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Sean was Lance's boss.
Oh, damn.
This is a white guy.
Hit a mayor speak.
Okay. But that's my point. Like, white people be like, we have presumed. Even the youngest white kid in Springfield thinks he has more authority over Negro legislators until you put him in the spot. Yeah, they do. They'll turn your key and vote. You're supposed to vote this way.
And because there's only a few black issues people, and then out of 20 people, 10 of them may have some white girl from Iowa.
Right. Yep.
Not a what?
And then you don't know anything about your district?
Yep.
Enjoy y'all weekend.
You too.
Reparations, miseducation.
The miseducation of the Negro.
Man. I literally have to go home and process all this stuff.
Well, because I just think, my concern with you is you have such a dynamic personality, and and I think you have the ability to make so much change. I think part of my thing is for you not to get sent off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I watch all this stuff, and I 100% get where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably where I was when I was 19 or 20, right, or 30, right, when I was still. It's like, the fact is that in that process and going through those stages, I've seen all the trickery. And so I feel like we're falling for the same trickery, even with these statues. I get the symbolism and being taught wrong, but it's like if they make us expend our energy on the wrong fight, right? And I think these white people are gassing up, like, say, the Miracles and all of them, like, they out in the middle of the street dancing because they think they got a concession from the mayor. But what does that mean for Good Kids, Bad City? Direct, right? Like, how does that empower? So I just want to make sure that y'all don't get sent off, because my job used to be to take you and divert you, like, to get you to go into
the statue,
or to go to the statue, but make sure that you're accomplishing my goal, even when you do that.
Damn, Maze, that's deep. Well, let me tell you why I'm unafraid. Because of the Maze Jacksons of the world. And so I listen to the wisdom of my elders, but I also pray for discernment. And so I think between those two things, we gonna make it happen. Bam. So I got all the trust in you, Maze.
Oh.
Todd.
Yo ass.
No, I'm just playing. You too, Todd. Shots fired.
Bam. Just like on 79th.
She may shank me when she goes by.
Just like on 79th Street. All right, y'all. We out of here. Peace. All right, y'all. This is always good stuff, good times. Hope y'all enjoyed the